You're a smarty pants. I like it. I've got Mrs. Doherty will be listening. Don't worry.
So Leopold are going to kick to the Queenscliff Road or Bellarine Highway end of Leopold Memorial Park, and the South Barwon boys with Andrew Bosley heading to the goal square will kick to the King family residence end or the Road end of Community Bank Oval. First quarter for Harvey Norman. Here's Jason Doherty.
Luke Davis gets it down to Dore. Madigan, who runs through the middle and gets it away. A quick kick came out from Broughton, but Leopold across half back. Wagner gets a right foot kick out wide. It's okay. And he finds Marcus Herbert on centre wing. Goes very wide towards the coach's box at a right half forward, kicking to the Queenscliff end, as we said.
Tips very quickly, gentlemen. What was your pendulum, Kirsch?
The pendulum's 3 points. I won't go into it, but it's 3 points in favour of Leopold.
Leopold by 28.
Pothole. Leopold by 10. Leopold by 32 for me this afternoon.
Boundary throw in right half forward for Leopolders, and ball comes to the back of the pack. West couldn't get it out. Still in dispute. Madigan gets wrapped up straight away, and it was Liam Herbert who put the tackle on, and we're going to have a ball up right half forward.
Anything for Wombat Gully Plant Farm, Kirsch? We'll keep an eye on some matchups.
We're just writing them down.
West winning the tap down, rolling ball. Liam Herbert couldn't take it cleanly. Coming through and jamming on the boot is Feely outside of the left boot, but didn't get much purchase on the kick, and the mark taken down low for South Barwon. Have we got the laces joined together here of a couple of players? No.
Ellie.
Toddy White is the marker. I thought the laces, he wasn't in a hurry to get up. I thought he and Brock Williamson had become entangled. It's White, the Croydon product, under pressure from Patton, going wide with the kick, finds a marking target, and they'll look to build here through Driver. Driver driving a kick towards right half forward, and the skipper Caldo comes up for South Barwon and marks 70 from goal, turns and kicks quickly. Bosley on a lead. Good build up from South. Nice little switch from White, opened up the eastern side of the ground, and Bosley in front of Trent Thompson. The two redheads going toe to toe has taken the mark. Will have a shot at goal with the man on the mark, about 48 from goal. What do you got for us, Kirsch?
Jet Matthews obviously got the job on Caldo, and as we mentioned, Thompson Bosley. So that's a nice little quartet down there in the forward 50 for South Barwon.
On Gully Plant Farm matchups, you can hear the netball in the background. It's one of the great features of our coverage. A high ball to the goal square, and on the chest of Ollie Lee it lands. Well, I don't think that was the intention. He was just setting it up for a fly, and Lee, unmarked, has been able to run onto the loose ball as it went over the pack, and he'll have a shot at the first of the afternoon for South Barwon.
Yeah. Won't be happy with that, Buddha.
Not mucking around. From 15 out directly in front, Ollie Lee has got first blood for the Swans. So they're 1 straight 6. Leopold yet to score opening quarter, thanks to Harvey Norman. But, gee, the ball just landed on Lee's chest, and he sort of bobbed up out of a sprinkler head.
He did. He won't be happy with the probably the non-contact there, the ease that he took that mark, but we've already seen a little bit of freedom with their ball movement there. They were quite slick getting in their forward 50, and 2 good marks and the result in the goal. Quick ball movement.
First goal of the afternoon to the visitors here at Community Bank Oval. First quarter thanks to Harvey Norman. Thank Harvey Norman for your big brands at Geelong's best prices. Back to the middle. Umpire Jones with the ball in hand.
Kelly O'Neill's got the job on Mitch Patton.
Davis goes up and gets it down as well in the middle for South Barwon and gets the kick out in the end, does his own roving work. Madigan again, who's been good for the first couple of minutes. He handballs it away and they get it forward again, South Barwon, towards Caldo again at half forward, punched away by Matthews. Giddings comes across, and Jennings comes across and helps him out across half back, and they just settle the play down. They go to Herbert Liam, who goes further afield. He's going to chip the ball back inside to West. He's right in the middle. Got Wagner running past, feeds him the ball by hand, goes out further, and Giddings takes the mark. He wants to play on quickly and move the ball in towards 50. Big pack there, coming out, no mark taken, front and centre Patton, handball over the top. Pitt got it out further afield. They've got the numbers in the pocket. Which way is the ball going to bounce? It comes back. White's there as well. Did he get held on to? I think he might get the free kick in the last line of defence for South Barwon.
White with it. Struggling to find an exit, so he just goes short into the left back pocket, and the mark taken there by Carmody. He goes short. to Siddle. Siddle's underground kick asked a lot of the debutant Shepherd. Shepherd gave a handball off to Peters. Peters with a handball on the bounce that missed its target. Leopold a chance. Wagner had his kick well smothered there by Siddle. Ball ricochets back into the waiting arms there of Burgess. Now Liam Herbert jamming it on the boot. Back with the flight, dropping the mark. I think it was Broughton. Just bobbled off his chest and has opened the door for Tom Scott. Giddings, a handball out the side door. Chance for O'Neill. Dragged to ground. Good tackle by Feely. Wagner on the handball on the up to Marcus Herbert. Herbert tight in the right forward pocket. No angle, or too tight a angle to work with. And it's put that out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a free kick in the left back pocket for Higgins. It looks like Andy Higgins might have just done away with the longer hair and has just gone back to the sort of the Zach Tui arrangement with the moustache.
So Higgins now in the back pocket, drives it short along the line. Jake Peters takes the mark, handballs back into Higgins, who followed it up. He's going to go with a sort of Zach Tui tumbling punt into the middle. That wasn't crash hot, but they got some players there. O'Dwyer got it towards centre half forward. Bosley gets the second effort, and Gallo Thompson just holds on to him for an hour and a half. The umpire says play on. Bosley still in front and needs some support. He doesn't get some over the back, and the ball came out quickly from Jennings, and Leopold get it outside half back. It's okay. Herbert takes the mark.
In board with the kick, looking for a marking option and finds one. It's Marcus Herbert. Oh, his scrubby little kick does a little bit of a disservice for Burgess, who has to go back to Herbert, who split the two would-be tacklers and then kicks wide to the wing. It's a well-presented ball, and it's onto the chest of Justin. Justin, the left footer, swings a kick to half forward. Quick handball off came from Howard back to Mitch Herbert. The kick low for Patton did him no favours. O'Neill was good. A handball on the up. The clearing kick to half back is okay. And here's the debutant Shepherd again, marking on the chest for South Barwon.
Wants to play on quickly, goes along the line. Bosley's got three on him. He goes up, can't take the mark, needs some support. He got some. Blake Scott was there as well. Madigan comes across to help out, hands and knees. Oh, Jennings got one high. The umpire said play on. And he's going to pay holding the ball. I think there he said he brought it back in. So South Barwon with the free kick. And I think James Siddle's going to win the raffle. Take it on centre wing, goes and plays on quickly with the right foot towards 50. Leopold though with the numbers. Settling the play down, and Matthews has got it at right half back.
Matthews drives a kick towards the outer wing. It'll have a well weighted enough to be marked out there by Giddings. Just over the head of James it went. Laterally he goes with the kick. It's a bit of a scrubber, but a chance here for the Lions. A handball over the top and a kick inside forward 50 from Liam Herbert, and on the lead Patton is marked, but maybe just beyond his distance. So he's quickly back off the mark. Williamson presenting short. He's all alone, still screaming for it. Now he sees off that option and now looking for Pitt down low. Couldn't take it. Goff with him. Goff will recover best. Picked up the footy. Handball back to a voice, and now the clearing kick comes from Driver, but he's put it straight onto the chest of Liam Herbert, who's been omnipresent early.
So Herbert back to where Patton was 30 seconds ago. He's going to be kicking from outside 50. He's going to play on now. Runs around on the right. Puts it at the top of the square. And in the middle, mark taken. Two South Barwon players. Just one driver got pushed under the football. And it was, in the end, it was a pretty easy mark for Giddings. And he was just able to stand there in the 10-metre square and take the mark. So he's going to be able to come in and put Leopold's first on the board. He keeps it very low. And it is the first for Leopold. 1 straight 6. South Barwon the same. Harvey Norman, K-Rock. First quarter scoreboard. And in the expert chair, thanks to Multi-Skills. Unleash your potential with construction industry training at Multi-Skills. Here's Matt Kershaw.
I know there's a couple of repeat forward entries then, but Giddings' work rate was really good. He took the Raya right up the ground. He was actually involved in the chain out in their back half and transitioned the play out to the other side of the ground, and then worked down to the forward line and made his player accountable and got on the end of it. So really good work rate by Connie Giddings.
St Albans has kicked the first goal against North Shore for Leopold Sporties. They lead 6-2 early. Weston Davis, we're going to call them all day. James the Roving had a fit of the fumble. Shepherd on debut. He's been good early. Handball up to Broughton, playing in the midfield. Broughton sends the Swans inside forward 50. Actually, it's a floater just outside. Carmody marks. Now quickly called to play on. In fact, it was Noble. Kick inside 50, looking for a marking option. O'Dwyer couldn't take it. Front of the pack, Leopold with numbers. Justin knocked it into the path of Lane. 17. Handball, Wagner on the up. Here now is Marcus Thompson. Thompson to half back. And Marcus Herbert. Both the Herberts have seen plenty of it early. Handball on the up to Thompson. That's Marcus. No dry today. Chip over the top. Miss Liam Herbert, but time to take it on the bounce. Flirts with the boundary line and puts it out on the full. Just never really got control of the ball under the boot. And it's gone out on the full in front of it. Pretty good crowd underneath the pavilion. Probably one of the loudest crowds you'll get in local footy is Leopold. That noise really stays under the pavilion, and it'll be Goff to take the resultant free kick.
Yes, K-Rock's zone goes up the ground towards Lee. Can't take the mark. Lane was next to him. Kick around the corner by Liam Herbert. Doesn't quite hit the target. Marcus Herbert comes back. He tries to pick it up at half forward, and he does. He wheels around, went left, went right, goes with a little right foot kick around the corner's okay, and they play on quickly. They get the ball out, and it goes to Marcus Thompson, top of the square. No mark. Umpire said no, hold, and Broughton will get the handball back from Goff, kick around the corner, but only as far as the Leopold half forward, and it was Burgess, and he got it short. Maybaum has taken the mark and will shoot for goal for 50 out directly in front.
I see the number 23 running around for Leopold. It's a different position, but it's like watching Darren Leahy back in the 90s.
He's a good player, Darren Leahy, wasn't he? Yeah, I tell you what, he's been very present, hasn't he, the number 23 Guernsey so far.
The Herberts have bought their own footy this afternoon. Maybaum, who we've seen him kick some long goals this year. He runs in, right foot kick, ran to the right-hand side for distance, then missed it to the left and through for one behind. 1-1-7, Leopold. They lead South Bar 1-6. Harvey Norman, K-Rock, first quarter scoreboard.
White kick into the right back pocket. Mark taken there by Giray will send it towards the outer wing. Thompson over the top for Leopold. That's Trent couldn't mark. Socket off the ground by Davis. Brought some territory for his team. Carmody through traffic. A handball back to the voice of Madigan. Madigan's lateral left foot kick is okay. And Peters, former Bannockburn player, brings it towards right half forward by way to kick for Noble. The Mottawarri product. Tries to get around Feely. Kicks on his left. That's beautiful. Lace out. Sumptuous footy from Lockie Noble into the waiting arms of Andrew Bosley. And he takes it 40 out from goal, just left of the corridor, and a chance for the Swans second. But the build-up, once again, they are freewheeling a little bit here this afternoon. And do you know what? Credit to them. Like, they've got nothing to play for. As I said, they're in football purgatory. They can't play finals. But the build-up, Kirsch, very nice. Yeah,
it's funny because you turn around and you go, hang on, why do we probably take more risks or be braver with our ball movement prior to not being eligible to play finals? Because when they are on, they are really quick with their ball movement and flow. It's really good to watch.
Bosley, shot at goal, starts at left, works it back nicely. So a good finish there from Andrew Bosley. Kicked 4 when the two teams met back in round 6. He's got 1 this afternoon already, 38 for the season, second only to Mitchie Patton at the other end of the ground on 50 in the race for the leading goal kicker award, and it is now South Barwon 2 straight 12. They lead Leopold 1-1-7 opening quarter thanks to Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands at Geelong's best prices, and of course furniture, electrical and computers and bedding. You'll find them all. Harvey Norman, Corio and Warm Ponds.
Sort of like a soccer game at the moment. What we're seeing is when a ball rebounds out of opposition's defensive 50, all of the back half is pressing up the ground, goes to the other end, and then there's a turnover and it comes back. They're all pressing back the other way. So it's a little bit of ebb and flow soccer game at the moment style.
So back to the middle, West, Davis. Davis gets it down through the middle. Herbert gives it away by hand towards Burgess. Now they get it the outside to Justin. Left foot kick from centre wing. Long. Deep forward, Giddings is there. Scott's at the front as well. Handballed somehow towards Marcus Herbert. He got the handball around the corner to Patton, who's wrapped up straight away. Ball spills free, still in dispute. About 15 out from the Leopold goal, and we're going to have a ball up.
He'll keep it going.
Well, now he's going to ball it up.
Yeah.
I was wondering why they were continuing to keep going.
They were all standing there looking at the umpire say, blow the whistle. So he has, and he will, and he'll ball it up eventually.
Davis and West, they nullify each other. Davis will do the roving, rode the tackle of Marcus Herbert. Now, he might have copped one high, which is a fairly decent effort there from Marcus Herbert to get up big enough to take Luke Davis high. Gives a handball off to a man running past it, Siddle. Siddle gave a handball to Madigan, who was standing still, but had enough wheels to turn around and kick nicely to Keldo. also. And the skipper presenting up nicely, takes it just forward of the wing, turns and kicks quickly into the pocket, looking for Noble. Good spoil. Lane knocked it out of bounds in the left forward pocket. That's good defensive play from Lane back into the side. One of 4 changes for Leopold. Pitt, Lane, Wagner and Dixon in for Thompson, Bumstead, Tate and Hughes. Thompson unavailable. Bumstead played in the reserves. Tate, VFL. Hughes out injured with an ankle. The 2016 Premiership star. 45 from the South Barwon goal, attacking the Port Arlington road end. West tapped down, missed Maybaum on the way through, picked up off the ground, a handball back towards a flying shot at goal. It's going to bounce in the square and off to the right, through for a minor score. That might have been our man Blake Scott. It was, and a minor score. So South Barwon, they lead by a kick. They're 2-1-13. Leopold 1-1-7, and once again Leopold slow to start, as Gary Hocking alluded to pre-game. Kirsch.
Absolutely. Well, we know they can finish, so South Barwon have got to get the jump on them early while they can.
Matt Kershaw for multi-skills.
Matthews kicks it in, and kick around the corner by Carmody. Did he run out of space? He was right on the 50 at half forward, and for South Barwon couldn't keep the ball in, so we're going to have a boundary throw in, and it's going to be Davis and West again to do the ruck work. Davis in front, West gets it down. Herbert to Herbert. We're going to do a bit of that today, I think. Ball into the middle, but in front they play well. South Barwon. White goes long. Bosley got a trip. Umpire said no. Thompson comes out, backs himself, then leaves the footy behind. The ball comes around from O'Dwyer. Good kick back in board. James takes the mark. Wants to play on nobody behind him. 40 out. Right foot kick long. He's missed it to the far side and through for 1 behind. So they go to 2-2-14. The Archbishop, may he rest in peace, Desmond Tutu. And now it is 1-1-7 Leopold.
Matthews short into the left back pocket to Gordon. He gives a handball back to Matthews. Matthews loops it over the top to Wagner. Broken defensive 50. The kick to half back is well weighted, and Feely brings it into West. West can give it back by hand. They can build. Matthews towards right half back with a well weighted kick that's marked by Burgess. Burgess with it. They're a long way from home. They've had about 8 possessions, but they're still inside their back half of the ground. It goes laterally to the vice captain in Gordon. Gordon for Leopold. Wants the corridor, needs to be precise. Wasn't, knocked away by Madigan from Lane. But then in trying to follow up Madigan, he's given away a free kick, was high there on Feely, who was captain of one of the best named teams you'll come across in AFL X at Leopold, ran about 18 months ago. The Touchy Feelies.
Oh, goodness.
Went short to O'Brien. And the Aryan Nation gets a mention whenever O'Brien.
Oh, the Aryan Union, we love it.
From Seinfeld. Kick inside forward 50. Chance now for the South Barwon boys to clear, but the handball missed the target. Andrew Higgins trying to get it towards Jake Peters, out of bounds. The Aryan Union, sorry, I should say. Yeah, it was a Seinfeld episode. O'Brien. Much confusion. And we're going to O'Brien. Right forward pocket.
Oh, stop it. Boundary throw in. Holders into attack. Slumping into the ground. Short boundary. The West got it down to the side. Rode by Wagner. Gets through 2 would-be tacklers. Handball back in. Ball was perfect to Williamson. And he goes to the right foot kick and he brings it back around. He's tacked it like Australia too.
That was Terry Alderman.
It's gone one way then the other and come back in for a perfect opportunity for a Lambie's Tavern goal of the day. And great finish from Brock Williamson. Great play, Logan Wagner. And that is Leopold's second goal. They're 2-1-13. They trail South Barwon 2-2-14. Harvey Norman, K-Rock, first quarter scoreboard.
Kingy caught it perfectly about a minute and a half earlier in that call. They just took their time with possession, getting out of their back half. You don't generally see 3 handballs coming out of full back, but we did see it. They had about 8 possessions. They got it in their forward half and locked it in and gave themselves some repeat entries and eventually got a shot on goal for a reward.
Back in the middle. Chance for West after competing in the ruck contest. And it's going to be a free kick going which way, and it's going to be advantage. It's going to Leopold. Wagner had a bounce and lowered the eyes and beautifully onto the chest of Giddings presenting up. Giddings, though, too far out to score, so he just will check the kick to the pocket and flying and marking his Pitt. Goff went to ground. Pitt just took the pack apart. West slow to his feet and back play for St John of God, but he's up to his feet now, the veteran ruck, and Jake Pitt on a lead, who's just finding his feet at GFL level. We know he's a star coming out of the Adelaide Amateurs, and kicked 9 a few weeks ago against St Albans, has 25 for the year, a chance to add to that and give Leopold back the lead. Jake Pitt wearing the number 27, left of centre, on its way, and kicks it nicely. Good finish from a very, very classy player, Jake Pitt. He's got the Lions third. So after trailing by 7, they now lead by 5 in this opening quarter of K-Rock football, thanks to Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands at Geelong's best prices. They're 3-1-19. They lead South Barwon 2-2-14 here at Leopold Memorial Park. Here's Matty Kershaw for Multi-Skills. Unleash your potential with construction industry training at Multi-Skills.
That's how important Trent West is to this side, because what we saw early in the season is Jake Pitt, Maybaum having to play in the ruck, playing out of position for most of the year. They lose forward structure. You insert West into this, he stays ruck, and all of a sudden you've got Pitt, Maybaum, these type of players that you can play around as a forward structure, and that's the results you get.
Giddings in the ruck, giving West a chop out, gets it down. Williamson tracks it, can't take it. Madigan over the top of it as well. Handball came out quickly, and getting back there, might be able to get their hands up, and they do. The handball came from Feely, goes out wide. Dixon takes the mark. Just back into centre wing. Madigan comes across. He's done some good defensive work through midfield. Logan Wagner not happy, and the ball will be out of bounds on centre wing for a boundary throw-in.
He expects high standards, Logan Wagner. He's really, since going up to Werribee and having a crack under Michael Barlow, they can't fold him up there. He works really hard, and he expects the same of his teammates. Boundary throw-in, Davis front position, won the tap down. It's going to be a free kick for a hold in the ruck contest against Giddings, and that's where South can get on top when West is off the ground, and Davis is known to just ruck tirelessly. West probably needs a spell as he works his way back, playing only his 5th game this afternoon for the season. Long ball inside 50, Caldo and Lee, neither could mark. Front of the pack, Blake Scott ready to pounce. We know he's got speed, but he couldn't get his hands on it. Thompson got one high, umpire said play on. Good handball release. Giddings on the bounce to Feely. Feely a handball over the top. Chance now for Jennings. Jennings kick inboard though, straight into the waiting arms of Andy Higgins. Former St Albans and Ocean Grove star steps through the man on the mark and then kicks inside 450. Not one of his best. He's usually a reliable user of the ball. He's put it straight down the throat of Nick Lane.
He does, and he comes broadcast side to Wagner and half back inside defensive 50. He just chips it back to Lane, so they want to come out this side. They want to go to the outer side. They go long towards Herbert. Ollie Lee gets across there and does well in front of Liam Herbert. Gets it out of bounds for a throw-in.
Around the grounds, Leopold Sporties, Bell Park 20, Grovedale 12, Lara 7, Colac 7, North Shore 21, St Albans 18, St Joseph's 19, Geelong West 8.
So throw in, right half forward, South Barwon attacking the Port Arlington end in this first term. It will be Davis up against Giddings, who got it down, and then he gets the kick towards centre wing, does his own work. Handball came back from Higgins on the inside now. Siddle, usually a good user of the football, goes out wide with the kick. Jennings tracks it back for Leopold in the right forward pocket for the Swans, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. 3-1-19. Leopold, they lead South Barwon 2-2-14, and we have played 21 and a half in this first term. Time clock thanks to Port Phillip Ferries. There's no better way to travel.
Yeah, you can travel Port Arlington or Geelong to Docklands. Boundary throw-in. Tap down Davis into the corridor, but there's Gordon, had it reefed from his arms. Chance for Lee. He's wrapped up by the other number 11 in Jennings, and 20 out from the South Barwon goal. We'll get a ball up. Now Kershaw in the experts chair for multi-skills. Leopold just slightly on their terms at the moment.
It is, because they're maintaining a bit of possession, whereas South Barwon are wanting to go at all stages. So, yeah, we're in for an interesting battle, that's for sure, in the next 3 quarters.
Davis the tap down, James the roving, but wrapped up by Feely. Umpire says give it to me. I think Jennings down in back play, but to his feet, and we'll get another stoppage. So it's being left to Giddings to do the ruck work for the moment. West having a spell, hopefully nothing too sinister. Davis grabbed it out of the ruck, jammed it on the boot, but has missed to the right with the quick snap and through for a behind. South Barwon now 2-3-15. Leopold 3-1-19. Opening quarter of K-Rock football thanks to Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands at Geelong's best prices. And of course you can join us anytime on the New Grove Benchtops SMS line 0456 955 955. Let us know where you're listening to us as Leopold advance the ball to right half back to Jennings.
Right in front of the best seats in the house thanks to APCO Cafe 24/7. It is Giddings who goes, in fact it's Jennings who goes back in and gives it back to Lane, and they go to the outer side again. Wagner makes some space, takes the mark, handballs it away. Thompson had to sit and wait for it. That was a Trent, gets it back to Wagner. He goes to Williamson, plays along centre wing, gets the handball over the top. They just sort of had to sit and wait a little minute for it. Come back in, board. That's a good mark. Marcus Herbert just inside the centre square on centre wing. Goes to the outer side, half forward flank. Great movement of the ball by Leopold. Williamson made himself available. Wheels around on the right foot. Long kick, 1-on-1. Patton can't take the mark this time. Handball came out quickly from O'Neill. And still in dispute right there. Leopold over the top. They've got the numbers in the end. They're going to kick the goal, but just weight of numbers. Will Howard, who was standing in the goal square, got the handball over the top, and he kicked his first, and South Barwon's defence all at sea in the end. And, well, they've paid touch because it's they've obviously paid touch because it's play on.
Well,
and
they're all celebrating.
They were all celebrating. They were all running back to the middle. South Barwon are out. They're gone. They've got 3 bounces. They have run towards 50. They run a very long way. They go towards Ollie Lou, who comes up. Thompson, who's going to stand there for Leopold, and thank goodness for Trent Thompson because he's held the play up and just settled things down. He gets it to Burgess in the back pocket.
Burgess short on the bounce. It won't get to Mayborn. Caldo did well, got across in front, knocked it away, and then got a handball on the up to Shepherd. Shepherd to Broughton. There's a bit going off on him back play. Umpire said play on. The kick, though, not ideal. Well done by Burgess, who gave it off to Williamson. Williamson's kick to the middle is well weighted. And the mark taken there by Howard, who was denied a goal just moments ago. His kick went over the head of Mayborn. White got involved, but Leopold with numbers. Clearing kick came from Liam Herbert, sent it wide, and this has been a little bit farcical for the last couple of minutes in terms of possession. Chance now for Pitt to drive a kick into the left forward pocket. O'Neill over the top of Patton provided the spoil. Siddle the roving, dumped in the tackle, but was able to get a handball on the bounce. Driver involved to right half back. Chance for South Barwon to clear. Well weighted kick to Cashin. Cashin confronted by Liam Herbert. High left foot kick that went up the chimney. Oh, big fly, but no mark. Noble. Chance here for the Swans. Noble is there, but there's plenty of lines there, including Dixon, but they'll come up with it through O'Dwyer. The kick for Caldo. Yes, Mark Page. 52 out from goal. Matty Caldo, the skipper of the Swans, with it.
So he's got it right half forward. He's got Davis moving for him. He goes towards the leader, Bosley. Got a couple against him. Thompson went with him. Gordon at the back, and they were able to get it out towards half back and then run away. Justin has to wheel back on that left. He wants to try and measure the pass just. It was okay to Feely at half back. He bit off a bit there. He goes towards towards centre wing, and Howard takes the mark for Leopold, just settling the play down now for the Lions. He goes along the line, high kick, pack develops. Off the back, Mayborn was there. Now the kick comes, and that comes quickly from Pitt. Goes across the face of goal. Open goal square as well for Jake Pitt, but puts it through for 1 behind 1-1. His personal tally. And they go to 3-3-21. Leopold leads South Barwon 2-3-15. Harvey Norman, K-Rock. First quarter scoreboard.
Higgins with the kick-in duties. Will come up the corridor with a very, very long ball. It's ideal for West, but it's got through to Caldo. He couldn't complete the mark. He'll get a handball on the up from O'Dwyer and then jam a kick onto the right boot. Bouncing towards right half forward. Jennings will lead the race for Leopold. He's got it at left half back. He'll come inboard with a well-weighted kick, and here's Marcus Thompson. But he hasn't been the most prominent Marcus on the ground this afternoon. It's been Marcus Herbert, who's been in stunning form, but gee, the Matheson medalist contender, a high ball, kicking now towards left half forward, went through the hands of Goff, feet of the pack, there's O'Brien, he's handball on the up, is going to be turned over, Driver, a give and go with Caldo, well done by Lane, who knocked it to ground, but Goff did okay to get a handball out wide. Chance now for a kick towards half forward for South Barwon. He'll get out the back and then roll out of bounds in front of Bosley as he was about to pounce. So right forward pocket, 26 3/4 minutes gone in this opening quarter of K-Rock football on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. There's no better way to travel. That's Port Phillip Ferries. Leopold 21 leads South Barwon 15.
We'll be looking forward to a break. There doesn't mean much tempo footy in this at the moment.
It's go, isn't it?
Go at the moment, that's for sure.
Boundary throw in, 50 around from the South Barwon goal. Davis in front, falls to the front of the pack. Madigan, right foot kick, partly smothered. Kick around the corner from Burgess for Leopold. Outside, defensive 50, handball. And there is the siren that Kirsch called for the players. And it's quarter time. Leopold 3-3-21. They lead South Barwon 2-3.
Leopold Memorial Park. It is in very good nick.
It's good for me.
It's in fantastic. South Point Garden Supplies, 15 Boneyards Avenue in Torquay, just behind Bunnings. Here's a second quarter of a Coke Cafe 24/7, Jace.
Yes, Davis gets it down to Broughton for South Barwon. They get it backwards towards half-back White, but he leaves it behind. Wagner on the outside, 50 and closing. Drills the ball back in beautifully in the outside of the right boot and gives it to Scott, who kicks it across the face of goal. As it sits up, it sits okay in the end. Just got to Liam Herbert, and he'll shoot for goal from 30 out directly in front.
Hawthorn 49 lead Gold Coast 22 in Launceston. GWS 23 lead Essendon at quarter time in Sydney.
So Liam Herbert, a chance for an early one here for the home side. He played 40 seconds in this second term, and good ball movement. Wagner to Tom Scott. Ends with Liam Herbert, who comes in, northern end of the ground, right foot kick. Goal umpire has moved across and he has put it through for one behind there to start the second term. So they go to 3-4-22 now, the home side. South Barwon 2-3-15. And that's on the Upco Cafe 24/7 K-Rock second quarter scoreboard.
Higgins brings it broadcast side, goes short into the right back pocket to Peters. Peters just inside defensive 50, sends a kick towards Davis. West there for company, got a partial spoil on it, rolls to the boundary line where Gordon will see it out in front of the South Barwon bench. And we'll get a boundary throw in this opening term. Wombat Gully Plant Farm matchups. Anything changed that you picked up in this second term? I like the Broughton-Marcus Thompson matchup.
Yeah, I do like that one, and the Williamson-Madigan one's a really good one as well.
James going with Wagner as well for Wombat Gully Plant Farm, but for Geelong Insurance Brokers, it's Weston Davis. West winning the tap, Marcus Thompson the roving. Handball on the up to Feely. Found room and then released a handball to Liam Herbert. Liam Herbert heard a voice. And he went back to that. It was Burgess, back to Liam Herbert, back to Burgess, who ran into trouble. Got a handball away despite the tackle of Driver. It's going to end up in the hands of Feely. Feely a high right foot kick. They'll compete near the goal point post in the right forward pocket. It's off hands and out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Gee, liking the look at Tom Feely. He spent some time in the VFL this year with the Cats, playing just his 5th game for Leopold, and when he gets his hands on the footy, things happen.
It's a good mover, isn't he?
Right forward pocket, northern end of the ground. Leopold into attack Davis in the ruck contest. Down the front, Siddle. Clearing kick back towards half-back. Burgess couldn't take the mark. Caldo, long way down. Gives the handball back. Now Broughton off a step. Tumbling punt towards centre wing. Bosley has to track it back there with Trent Thompson. The two big blokes. Can Thompson keep it in? He can. And thought about the kick here. Handballed it over the top in the end of Dixon. Had to sit and wait for it. Didn't sit for him. Handball over the top from Scott. Now Lee. He tracks it at left half forward. Now Scott. The greyhound, Can he get through? He tried to. He nearly got through. Now Madigan off a step. Usually pretty good on the left. Goes up towards Bosley. Wagner got in front of him. He had to get it away. Liam Herbert along the line. Gets it to Jet Matthews, and they're out of trouble for now.
Well done by Wagner defensively there, with Bosley bearing down on him. Matthews a chip over the top, and the mark taken by Gordon.
I feel there's a bit of confusion out there with South Barwon players, because O'Dwyer's just playing between the arcs at the moment, and I think he's meant to be on Liam Herbert, and Liam Herbert at the moment is just doing as he pleases.
Higgins off the back of the pack for South Barwon, got a handball into space. Patton was first there for Leopold. He dived on the ball. Ball not coming out. Umpires circling, and we'll get a ball up. Umpires McElhenney, Jones and Buckley controlling this one this afternoon. And fair to say, been impressive through the opening quarter and a bit of the men in lime green. Umpire tosses it into the air. West winning the tap down. It's going to roll away from the pack and out of bounds for a boundary throw in. 3-4-22, playing 2-3-15. Second quarter K-Rock action, APCO Cafe 24/7. The new Mexican Jaffle only at APCO Cafe 24/7. Like the sound of that.
So boundary throw in West and Davis.
Feel like you're in Tijuana.
Ball to the front, Madigan. Couldn't take it. Williamson with a blind turn. He nearly got tackled by Thompson as well. Now West gets it out. Wagner goes further afield. He looked for Patton. Getting across there was Driver and saw it over the boundary line at 50 for Leopold, who are into attack in the northern end of the ground this afternoon in this second term. And we'll have another boundary throw in. Luke Davis and Trent West. Davis gets it down to the front. Wagner played for the free kick, didn't get one. Madigan's handball out to O'Neill to set a task for his teammate there in Peters, who was wrapped up straight away. Now Madigan followed up, got it away by hand. They go towards half forward with the kick. Dixon comes across defensively for Leopold, does well. They can bring it back the other way. Burgess, handball over the top. Liam Herbert has brought his own football today. Back to Burgess, right in the middle of the ground. He gives it to Feely. Was going to go short, then he goes up the ground to Pitt and does beautifully with the kick. And finds him to lace out, and he'll shoot the goal from 50 out directly in front.
He doesn't waste much possession, does he, Feely? Like when he gets it, he's very...
Knows what he's doing, doesn't
he does. Yeah, lower the eyes and I'm going to hit you up.
So Jake Pitt, who has kicked 1-1 this afternoon already, will be shooting 50 out directly in front, northern end of the ground, and shouldn't have any trouble with the distance as he comes in to give Leopold a chance at their fourth. He goes now with a kick, drives it long. He's done that a few times on a Thursday night here at Leopold Memorial Park, and he's put it straight through the middle for his second of the afternoon. And they go to 4-4-28 now, Leopold. They lead South Barwon 2-3-15. APCO Cafe 24/7. K-Rock second quarter scoreboard. And in the experts chair as always, thanks to Multi Skills. is Matt Kershaw.
We spoke about before the game how good Leopold's back six have been and how they've sort of worked really well together. This quarter, they've actually rebounded every forward entry of South Barwon's by just working together and get some really good shape behind the ball, and it's given them more time in forward half, so they're really solid down there and working them up the ground.
Umpire McElhinney puts it into the air for Weston Davis to go at it again. West winning the tap down. Marcus Thompson hit it at pace, got away from James. A floater inside, forward 50 through Giddings, and also Pitt ball out the back. Here's a chance. Oh, Marcus Herbert, wonderful pick up. Quick snap though, has missed to the right and through for a minor score. That would have been a Lammy's goal of the day contender, but just couldn't get enough bend on the ball. Really, everything's going left to right at the Port Arlington Road end and right to left at the Queenscliff Road end with a slight westerly breeze, although conditions almost perfect for footy here for South Point Garden Supplies.
So the Swans kick it back in through Todd White into the back pocket. Higgins wants to bring it broadcast box side into the opposite back pocket. Hogan takes the mark for South Barwon. Leopold have set up defence pretty well in front of Hogan, who tries to chip the ball to Madigan in amongst four Leopold players. Does well with the kick. Madigan wants to switch now, go to the opposite side. Dangerous kick, but was okay in the end. White made it better than it was. He goes with a left foot kick to centre wing. They've moved the ball better now. James on the up to Driver. Handball over the top. Had to sit and wait. Higgins folded up. Now handball over the top came. And they go towards Carmody. Back in. Board. Sits up. James has to sit. Gets one high and will take the free kick at left half forward.
Driver picked up the loose footy, but the umpire said it's going to come back. And thankfully, because his kick was chopped off by Jet Matthews in the right back pocket. So Sammy James coming in from the Hampton League has been a very handy inclusion. Played every game, 28 touches and 8 clearance when the two teams met. That might be some Matheson medal votes in a few weeks' time. Kick inside 50. Lee flies, can't mark. Front of the pack, Carmody knocked it forward for South Barwon. Caldo dived on the footy, and then he's dived on by a number of Leopold players. And we'll get a ball up just in back play. Carmody a bit slow to get to his feet for St John at God. We'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully okay. Your emergency specialist, open 24/7, Myer Street in Geelong. Umpire throws it into the air. Tap down Davis, but the roving Marcus Thompson, just the way he reads it off the hands of the pack is delightful. His kick wide is okay, and Pitt got an old-fashioned ear massage in taking that mark at right half back, but he hung on to it. He's a long way from home, Pitt. He'll drive a kick, and it's down low, and O'Brien genuflects, takes the mark, gets to his feet quickly, turns, and then kicks towards right half forward, looking for Giddings. It's too wide. It beats he and Goff out of bounds, and we'll get a boundary throw in at right half forward. Just their ball use, that last kick occasionally just been a bit untidy, Kirsch, for multi-skills.
Yeah, it has been, unless it's in Feely's hands, of course. But yes, the last couple have been just a little bit less than efficient. So just got to maybe slow it down a little bit, hold it up.
West gets it down to the front. Wagner couldn't take it with him. Now Maybaum gets around on the right foot. High kick inside 50. And Driver stood his ground, took the mark and played on quickly. Got it around the back. Siddle with the kick towards the best seats in the house thanks to APCO Cafe 24/7. Lane with a big Mick Schultz double fister right in front of the broadcast box, and he sees it over into the netball courts, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
He was happy about it too, I reckon.
The poor goal shooter was just lining up a goal.
Yeah,
so their legs taken out by the Sharon.
Yeah.
4-5-29, 2-3-15, a 14-point buffer for the Lions of Leopold. Left half forward, boundary throw in. Weston Davis. Davis to the tap this time. James the roving unmarked handball up to Siddle. Siddle sends a kick to the wing, wanting Lee. Good defensive spoil from behind came from Jennings. He'll bounce to his feet, find the footy. Just couldn't keep it alive though. Boundary umpire was Johnny on the spot and said that was out of play. I'll throw it in. Thanks very much. Almost true centre wing here in front of a good crowd at Leopold Memorial Park. Come rain, hail or shine, you will always get a good crowd at Leopold. Boundary throw in. Davis front position winning the tap down. Here's Marcus Thompson again. A handball release for Wagner for Leopold, and he drives it long towards the goal square. Giddings, Pitt, neither could mark. Pitt will try and create a path for Howe, but they got in each other's way in the end. Bit of miscommunication. Oh, that'll be a free kick. A little bit high. Higgins will take the free kick. It was, I think, Marcus Herbert who might have just got a little bit high and indiscriminate, and Andy Higgins, who's enjoyed a good first year at the Swans, has taken the free kick. Goes short to the right back pocket to Driver, who's had an outstanding year, if you ask our own Josh Conway.
Buzzes on.
He goes backwards. And they're just still in the back reaches of their defensive zone. They go, kick. That's a terrible kick. Patton got a hand to it. Higgins was coming at it. There's 3 Leopold players there. Can they get it away from him? He's hatched the ball underneath. The umpire is going to let it go, and now he's going to ping him, I think. He is. I think he dragged it back in, and then Jake Pitt was over the top of him with Mitch Patton and a couple of others as well. They were in a posse, and Jake Pitt has got the ball, and he thought about the little handball to Mitchie as he ran past, but he's going to elect to go back and shoot for goal from 55 out. Slight angle. He's kicked 2 this afternoon already. He's been in good form. The last kick was fine for distance. And we've been looking at the northern end, just to the outside of the left-hand goal post, just to bring the breeze back in. He's right in front of the broadcast box here. Gives himself a good runway. Goes with the right foot kick. He's not going to actually get the distance. Goes off the back. The Swans have got the numbers wide. Had to sit and wait for the handball. He got it out in the end, and it's out wide towards Cashin. He can't keep it in. Neither can Luke Justin, and we'll have a boundary throw in. 4-5-29 Leopold. They lead South Barwon 2-3-15. We've played 12 minutes. Second term on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
Port Phillip Ferries, there's no better way to travel. Tom King, Jason Doherty, Matt Kershaw bringing you all the action from Leopold Memorial Park. Tonight we're at GMHBA Stadium for the Cats and the Saints. Davis won the tap. Broughton hit it at pace at the front of the pack. A left foot kick was well trapped by Carmody, but his handball was knocked away by Gordon into the path of Lane. He goes with a handball. Lane's kick to the middle though is turned over. Cashin has marked a handball on the up and a chance to run here for South Barwon. Kick wide looking for White. Missed him. There was a little hold on the jumper of Jennings. Umpire didn't see. Jennings was able to run onto the footy. And his left foot kick was okay, although back with the flight Peters. Knocked it away from O'Brien. Peters came again to knock it towards Goff. It's right next to our best seats in the house as Jennings wraps up Lee, and we'll get a ball up right at the boundary's edge. And the umpire says, I'll throw it into the air. Weston Davis will try and keep this in play. Umpire just gives himself a couple of metres. Watch Marcus Thompson ready to pounce, although keeping him company now is the youngster Shepherd on debut. Tap down Davis. Here's Madigan, tried to get through 2 tackles. That's holding the ball. Yes, Brock Williamson. And now Williamson and Madigan want to go on with it. And there might have just been a little forearm from Williamson just onto the sort of neck area of Doyle Madigan that Doyle didn't like. Williamson a handball off to Thompson. Thompson runs to 60 from goal. Driving ball, long ball, good ball. Lammy's Tavern, goal of the afternoon comes from the pup, Marcus Thompson. The Matheson medal favourite. Well, that puts yourself in the 3-2-1 with goals like that. He'll definitely win our goal of the day. Not much will beat that. That's a long driving kick. Saw that everybody had come up from the square, Kirsch for multi-skills, and sent it long and through for a goal.
Good lesson for the young fella Shepherd, who just started on him. It was okay, but once that ball had transitioned from the stoppage, probably forgot about him for about the next 10 seconds. And
all he needed.
Oh, he doesn't even need that, does he? He just needs a couple of seconds. And, yeah, good lesson for the young fella. You've got to probably stay with him until the ball transitions out of your area fully.
Leopold 35, South Barwon 15, Apco Cafe 24-7, second quarter.
So the ball has been balled up and then was stuck underneath Brock Williamson. He's getting a bit of Bronx cheer from the South Barwon boys, and they're going to play on quickly through Broughton, who got the free kick. The kick was terrible to centre half forward. You're going to need somebody to pick that up for him. Scott gets wrapped up straight away by Jennings, and it's not going anywhere. The umpire will come in and ball it up right at centre half forward for the Swans, kicking to the southern end of this second term. And ruckwork Davis goes up. King's got there late. Handball over the top. Nobody can pick it up. Thompson gets back there. His handball over the top to a call. Leopold with the numbers again. The ball spills free though. Goes back towards Scott. Noble gets wrapped up. Ripped off the football. Noble over the top of it again. Still at half forward for South Barwon. The umpire will come in and ball it up. So Leopold 5-5-35, South Barwon 2-3-15. We played 15 in this second term. Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
There's no better way to travel. Carrick football on a Saturday afternoon. Davis winning the tap down, jamming on the boot was Noble inside forward 50, knocked away from O'Dwyer. It'll roll towards James and Thompson. Marcus Thompson, that is for Leopold, sees it to the boundary line. He was able to get the footy and a handball release, but in doing so, there's now a bit going on off the ball here. Bosley being dragged off Marcus Thompson, and I think we're going to get a free kick.
A throw.
I think, yeah, throw against Mark. Gee, it looked like a handball from here. Either way, kick inside forward 50 from Scott Giddings. That's a good, strong mark under pressure from Caldo. A Hamlin Hanger contender from the defender, Connor Giddings, takes a good strong mark and he quickly gets to his feet, gives a handball to Gordon. Gordon driving a kick, looking for Pitt, went through his waiting arms. O'Brien picked it up, couldn't get away, but got a handball released to Feely under pressure from Higgins, put a handball into space. Chance to run here, Leopold jamming on the right boot. Pitt looking for Patton. He couldn't complete the mark. Ball, it was Mayborn, I should say, with the kick towards Patton. Now a clearing handball over the top. Peters, he sends it forward. They should score from here, South Barwon, as they drive it inside forward 50 through Scott.
Yeah, so he goes now with the ball deep forward, and good mark taken as well. Deep forward for South Barwon. I was just keeping an eye on
Feely.
Tom Feely.
Yeah, got a real solid knock, and he's got up limping at the moment.
He has. He's got a right leg issue, I think, for St John of God.
So stretch it, so maybe just a corky.
So goal came from Broughton, who finished off the good work up the ground from his Swans teammates, and that is their third. 3-3-21. They trail Leopold 5-5-35, and it's on the Upco Cafe 24/7 K-Rock second quarter scoreboard.
Any team will kill you on the shallow entry, won't they?
Absolutely will. Particularly when you've got Kelly O'Neill playing that role on Patton. He was really good one-on-one then, and not letting Patton off the chain. So yeah, defensively they were really sound then.
So Patton's actually goalless.
He's doing a good job, O'Neill, at the moment. We never say that about Mitch Patton, though. It could be 3 minutes left in the game. He'll finish with 4.
Yeah. Just keeping an eye on Feely as well. He's been in the hands of the trainers on centre wing on the outer side. He looks to be okay at the moment. We'll just keep an eye on him for St John of God.
Yeah, he's an important one. Just waiting for the ball to come back. And as we wait for the ball to come back, let's go around the grounds. Round 17 action. 4 other games this afternoon in the GFL competition. Bell Park 33, Grovedale 34, Lara 35, Colac 35, North Shore 44, St Albans 26, and Joseph's 48, Geelong West 8. So Joey's look like they're going to do another number on St Joey's. Remember, West, that was 100 points.
100 points in the wet that day, or it was wet in the morning.
And then they went and beat Colac by a point the following week.
That's right, they did too at Colac.
And after losing David Peel early to an Achilles. Back in the middle.
Crazy times.
Yeah, Giddings winning the tap down. Here's Madigan trying to barge his way through traffic, able to get a handball away. And in the end, nearly turned it over, but Noble picked up the loose ball, gave it to Siddle to James. James heard the voice of Peters. Peters couldn't get a hand on it, but he was helped out there by Hogan. Hogan, those turned it over. Chance for Giddings to send Leopold inside forward 50. Williamson couldn't complete the mark in front of Duray. Ball hit the ground. So diving on it, Noble. He did dive on it. It's not coming out. Might find himself with trouble here. No, umpire Jones says give it to me. 20 metres out, directly in front of the Leopold goal as they attack the Port Arlington road end in this second quarter from Leopold Community Bank Oval. Into the air it goes. Davis winning the tap down, jammed on the boot of Goff outside of the right boot. It was, and he rolls it towards the boundary line now. That might be insufficient intent if it goes out, although Wagner did his best to keep it alive. And for Leopold, maybe it would have been best to let it roll out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He made it look too close.
Yeah. Just let it roll out and take maybe potential. Let the umpire decide whether there's a free kick, but he decided to play out at the star line, and we'll get a boundary throw in right where the 50 meets the boundary line as Leopold lead this one by 14.
So boundary throw in. Jennings got his hand to it. Thompson in front. Tumbling punt was okay, and when you're in front of the forward line, you might get it. And Liam Herbert has in the right forward pocket. He led Siddle to the ball, had a bit of space in front of him, and took the mark in the right forward pocket. We'll have another set shot for goal. Kick one behind. Already in this quarter for the home side.
Put a line through Queenscliff. Torquay lead by 35. So it's now down to Anglesey or Emmos, depending on the result between Emmos and Ocean Grove.
Herbert comes in, right forward pocket, missed it again to the far side. The near side for him, the far for us. 2 behinds to Herbert. They go to 5-6-36. They lead South Barwon 3-3-21. They played 19 and a half. Port Phillip Ferry, second quarter.
Ball brought back into play by Hogan. Mark just inside defensive 50 by Driver, who sends a kick long looking for Davis. Good spoil from the front by Giddings, but he only managed to knock it into the path of Bosley. Bosley with a flying shot at goal that'll bounce about 8 or 9 times and off to the left and through for a minor score. 5-6-36 Leopold, 3-4-22 South Barwon as we approach time on in this second quarter of Carroll football. Thanks to APCO Cafe 24/7, the new Mexican Jaffle, only at APCO Cafe 24/7.
Short little kick into the back pocket. Lane takes the mark, goes longer, looking for Feely, who's recovered. He copped another one there from Lee. The umpire has said it is going to be
too high,
and it's going to come back to Bosley. So again, have to be a good hit on Andrew Bosley, and he's going to have a set shot for goal. He's going to kick it from just outside 50, and we're going to have a good look at this ball.
So is the umpire.
So the umpire's running straight with him and making sure he doesn't run off his line.
Oh, are we
and
serious?
we can't see him. Now he's going to call him to play on. He ran off his line. He kicked the long. He kicked the goal. Did he? It's close to the line. Has a run over the back? I think it has. There was 3 Leopold players there. They couldn't touch it. And Andrew Bosley has kicked his second of the afternoon. And 4th for South Barwon. They go to 4-4-28. And they trail Leopold, who are 5-8-38. Is that right?
5-6.
5-6, sorry. 5-6-36 it is too.
I like these electronic scoreboards. They're great.
Yeah, they're
great. They're great, but other when they take the score down.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Yes, 5-6-36 Leopold, South Barwon, 4-4-28.
It's all great that a multinational company wants to advertise on there.
A major sponsor? Or
Yeah, something like that. But we want the score first.
Yes,
Let's
really.
get the score out, and then you can do the advertising.
Jason, it was really odd, the umpire walking in behind Andrew Bosley then, and then Bosley came off his line and still didn't call play. I've not seen it before.
Davis won the tap at Mayborn, the follower, sends it inside forward 50, went over the head of Howard. It's going to fall nicely here for Luke Justin. He should be able to run onto the ball and run into an open goal, and does. Well, that was all a little bit simple. It took about 9 seconds from out of the middle. Mayborn pounced on the ruck work of Davis, sent it along inside forward 50, and Justin, with all the momentum, the ex-Cholera Nurat star, was able to dribble one through for goal and get one back very quickly for Leopold, who go now to 6-6-42. They lead South Barwon 4-4-28 in this second quarter, thanks to APCO Cafe 24/7 in the experts chair for multi-skills. Here's Matty Kershaw.
That was probably just a bit of poor defending them from South Barwon. You can't have too many players sort of get involved in the air and then let the ball out the back, and I can guarantee you that'll be a message at half-time about not letting the ball out the back, particularly staying with your opponent while he's on the ground and you don't need to fly. So that was a little bit elementary there for Leopold to get out the back and finish the goal. But just really quick ball movement inside their forward 50.
It's a great luxury to have a Mayborn who can play as a ruck, but playing as a ruck rover.
You can play ruck rover forward, on the wing. We've seen him on the wing this year.
So back in the middle, West gets it down. Patton couldn't take it with him. Cashin ripped off the football. Still in the middle, Williamson on the hand up. And they get it over the top. Out wide to Lane on centre wing. Left foot kick around the corner was good. Oh, down the field too. Cashin late. And a free kick to Pitt.
Took the mark anyway.
He took the mark as well. Inside 50. Wants to play on quickly. No, the umpire says come back please. And unfortunately for him, he hit Marcus Herbert as well, who's not happy. So it's going to come back to Jake Pitt. At left half forward, 50 from goal. And he's had 2 or 3 chances at this distance in this second term.
He needs to start. Peter, you need to start it on the M at Middletons.
So
if you started at the M and work it left to right.
Kingy's giving Jake Pitt some tutelage with the goal kicking. Let's see if he's listened to him. He comes in. K-Rock Zone stands the mark. He comes in, right foot kick. I think he listened to you, Kingy, because he put it out there and that's where it stayed.
Too far, Petty.
2 goals, 2. Jake Pitt. And they go to 6-7-43 Leopold. We're still on air. South Barwon 4-4-28. Cafe 24/7.
I can't wait to do Lara next and he starts yelling out to Mitch Day.
Well, he needs all the help he can get. Higgins brings it to half back. Big defensive spoil over the top came from Jennings.
That's the drive-by for Mitch Day's not even here. That'll get back to you, don't you worry.
So left half forward, we'll get a boundary throw in. Leopold by 15. Hope Pitt kicks a bag, wins a Leopold Sport. He's going to get him on air post game, but I'll be gone. Goes over the head of both West and Davis. Wagner pounced on it. He turned it over, handball straight to James of South Barwon, who gave it to Davis. Davis kicked indiscriminately towards centre half forward. Jennings, a wonderful pick up on the bounce. Geez, he works harder than your deodorant, does Jennings. He got back from this stoppage towards centre half back. His kick on the bounce. Marcus Herbert tried to take on Cashin. Handball release. Miss Liam Herbert. Broughton had a fit of the fumbles at the inopportune time. Then he dived on the loose ball. Liam Herbert dived on him. And we'll get a ball up at the edge of the centre square, slightly favouring South Barwon. 6-7-43, South Barwon. 4-4-28. It's Leopold by 15 points in this second quarter of Carroll football for APCO Cafe 24/7.
Ball from West, tapped down. And he gets the handball up as well. Lane back towards an open centre square position. Who's going to get there for Wagner's? The bump was beautiful. And set a task for Burgess to pick it up and go towards Patton, who comes out on lead and takes the mark. And we'll have the same set shot for goal as Jake Pitt 2 minutes ago. And we'll see if he can do a bit better. You going to tell him, Kingy?
I'm not telling Mitchy Patton what to do.
Okay, so he'll tell Jake Pitt, but he won't tell Mitch Patton. Well, that's fair enough. He's got 50.
I'd tell Lockie Patton what to do.
So, Mitch Patton, 40, and probably just kicking on 50.
It's first shot at goal for the day, is it?
Yep, left half forward. And as we said, same area as Jake Pitt a couple of minutes ago. He comes in. That's much better from Mitch Patton. Straight through the middle. Goal umpire does not move. His first of the afternoon. And for Leopold, that's probably what Jake Pitt... Well, if you had to listen to Kingy, he might have been okay. Was he just a little bit off? I don't quite know. But anyway, Mitch Patton, great movement of the ball from the Polders there, 7-7-49. They lead South Barwon 4-4, 28 Apco Cafe, 24-7 K-Rock. Second quarter scoreboard.
Well, it was good play, but I think you called it in that last little bit of play, Jace. Logan Wagner's shepherd, he didn't go after the ball. If he had gone after the ball, the whole play would have been totally different. He actually put the shepherd on, or the block on, to allow Mitch Burgess to come through, and then Burgess's skills were elite.
Tap down Davis, roving Madigan for South Barwon handball. Back to the voice of Siddle. Siddle drives a kick towards right half forward. Knocked away there from Carmody, but he was able to find the foot. His handball went up the chimney, opened the door for Feely to come through, but he only knocked it to Cashin. Cashin to Noble. Noble jammed it on his right boot. He was dumped after he kicked. Will it come back to where he kicked from? It was a high contact against Lane, is what the umpire is indicating for Lockie Noble to take a resultant free kick. So it'll come all the way back. They've just opened the game up, Leopold, as they lead by now a game-high 21 points. But this will be very handy in the shadows of half-time. These quarters just feel like they've gone really quick as we approach 20. Well, we've got to love the way the footy's being played. It is up and down.
Free for all at the minute.
As we said, South Barwon really in that football purgatory. Nothing to play for other than a bit of pride to finish off the season, send Dave Farrell out a winner. Noble would need to start at right-hand goalpost. That's where he does start it, and he works it back. Will he have the carry? He will. Over the head of Trent West it goes. And that is a goal for South Barwon. Much needed one for them. Breaks a run of a couple from Leopold. He's first of the afternoon. 18th of the season for Lockie Noble. And they now go to 5-4-34. They trail Leopold 7-7-49 in the second quarter of K-Rock football. The new Mexican Jaffle only at Apco Cafe 24-7.
You feel South Barwon are just working really hard for their goals, don't you? And you feel that Leopold's kind of come with good play.
Double effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's double effort. It's a lot more work and a lot harder to score, whereas Leopold's goals actually come from nice play. So, whilst it's not a big margin, the goals just seem to be coming different ways.
West gets it down, but a free kick over the shoulder to Luke Davis in the ruck contest. So
one more before the break.
Yeah, the Swans.
Handy though,
get this going. He gives the handball forward to Peters, who goes with a kick inside 50, punched away defensively. Leopold working overtime. Wagner to Thompson, on the up to Gordon, handball back, just settling the play down. Now they try and get it through Burgess to West, who puts a hand up, can't get it, but got one high, or a push. Luke Davis turns around, can't believe it, and the big fella will chip the ball back into Burgess. Now free towards Patton, who runs back with a fly to the footy. Takes the mark under pressure from Driver. Wants to play on. Does he? No, he just holds it up. 55 out from goal, called to play on now. Short little kick is okay. Just Feely, who is going to look for half time, because he has been absolutely smashed about 3 times today already. But he'll have a set shot for goal from 50 out.
Generally don't ice at half time, but I think he might be looking for a couple of ice packs.
Might be looking for something, a pillow and a lie down, I think. Tom Feely, he has felt it this afternoon, but a late chance for Leopold before half time.
From what we've seen of his kicking ability, this is no problem whatsoever.
No, he's been nicely. He comes in right foot kick, question of accuracy, and he's missed it. In fact, it might be marked on the line, isn't it? It is. The umpire has paid the mark in the last line of defence.
To sort of kick it.
It's Jack Driver, who stood there with Bosley, who's a long way from goal, right in the goal square. He's going to chip the ball. It's a good kick to Peters. Peters, who drops the soda, and unfortunately for South Barwon, they might be in trouble here. Ball comes back. Matthews tried to take it with him, who followed Bosley. Handball, free kick hold. South Barwon going to play an advantage as well through James.
Yeah, James is out the front of the pack, received a quick handball, drives a kick to Goff. Goff's a long way from home. He's usually inside defensive 50. He's marked this forward of the wing. He'll just send a kick over the top, looking for a marking target, and he's found one, has he? Yes, there's going to be a mark or hold paid to Caldo at right half forward. Man on the mark stands about 40 from goal. And Matty Caldo would back himself from here. The breeze working across the ground here, so not kicking into or again or with, maybe slightly with, if anything. Matty Caldo, the Swan skipper, sends it on its way, works it across the face of goal. It's off the hands of Trent Thompson and knocked through for a minor score. So a rush behind there makes the margin 14, but they're still loitering dare I say it, South Barwon 5-5-35, Leopold 7-7-49 as the Lions get to the wing.
They do, and they take a mark through Giddings, who takes it and runs away and wants to switch the play to the opposite centre wing position. It's a good kick too. Mark taken by Gordon as the siren sounds, so no further plays. Half-time, Leopold 7-7-49. They lead South Barwon 5-5-35.
It is half-time thanks to Garmy Chicken and Beer. Treat yourself to some half-time Garmy Chicken and Beer, Warren Ponds, if you're thinking of something for dinner tonight. All off this second half, about to get underway, third quarter for Harvey Norman. Here is Jason.
So Luke Davis goes up and gets it down. Start of this third term the same as the first term to Madigan, who got it wide towards Carmody. Had to get it out towards Peters by hand. Then he just goes with a dump left foot kick, which is into the car park, and I think it might have really hit a Rex Garrell model down there, because that is high, wide and not very handsome. And a free kick's going to come back at half-back for Leopold.
Well, they just weren't clean, were they? They just fumbled and got
themselves under pressure,
exactly,
didn't they?
Yeah. So that's the difference right now.
So the ball is going to come up the line towards West. And from the side, no mark taken by Pitt. Handball out the back to Thompson. Goes with a long kick, deep forward. Patton tried to push past. Front and centre was fantastic by Jennings. Over the top with a handball around the corner. Mitchie has missed it. Patton misses to the far side and through for one behind. So 1-1. His tally. And the home side start with a behind in the third term. 7-8-50 they lead South Barwon. 5-5-35. And that's on the Harvey Norman K-Rock third quarter scoreboard.
Andy Higgins with the kicking duties again for the Swans. Will trot off into the right back pocket and send it towards the eastern or scoreboard side of the ground, and looking out there for Davis. It's off the hands of the pack. Carmody, a handball release that went up the chimney. It's going to fall from Madigan, who gave it to James. James of South Barwon looks to draw a man. A handball back to Madigan. Madigan now kicks towards centre half forward. A ball that will bounce in front of Broughton. He'll have Jennings for company. Broughton just arched the back, then fired a handball back to the wing. Peters, quick release back to Madigan, who's been busy early, but his handball's been turned over to Jennings. Gave a handball to Marcus Thompson and Leopold, and at right half back sends a kick to a one-on-one, wanting Pitt, fisted away from him into the path of Hogan. It was good defensive play there to knock it away by Driver, and it's out of bounds for a boundary thrown in front of a good crowd watching a game played on an impressive deck for South Point Garden Supplies. Looks like Ash and the team have been down here doing a little bit of work actually, and we've got a boundary thrown at right half forward. Leopold in attack.
So West gets it down to the side. Thompson tracks it, and Wagner wrapped up and got the kick away under pressure from Madigan. Up the shot tower, goes to the side. Howard couldn't take it for Leopold. Now the ball comes out to Higgins. Was going to go left, works back on his right foot, goes across back to centre half, back to Hogan with a great kick, running free. Handball over the top, Siddle. Now they've got a bit of space and a bit of time as well. They run through Carmody, who takes two bounces, draws to 55 metres, goes to the right foot kick. Caldo got his name written on it, couldn't take the mark, and defensively was pretty good from Matthews, because he didn't give the free kick away and through 4-1 behind to South Barwon. So they worked well there through Jet Matthews. So 7-8-50 Leopold. South Barwon 5-6-36 in this third term.
The Hoppers crossing product. Matthews short into the left back pocket to Liam Herbert, who had some sort of first quarter especially. He and Marcus, his brother, both racking up plenty of the footy. The Hampton products. He goes short into the left back pocket. And here is Jet Matthews again. Matthews just chips a kick over the top, and Tommy Gordon has got it. But it's out of bounds on the full is the decision of the boundary umpire. And the free kick will belong to Carmody at right half forward. Of course, started the year in a blaze of glory with 6 against Grovedale. He's kicked it into Gordon's arms and the ball spilled, but Carmody will pick up the loose ball again, try and barge through Liam Herbert, gave a handball to Noble. Noble tightened the right forward pocket. Chance used that. O'Dwyer with a flying shot at goal. Not a bad effort. And it's missed. In fact, it was Hogan. And it might have scored. That would have been some sort of goal from Joel Hogan.
Side of the box, that's for sure.
Playing game 91 of his career. He's only kicked 9 goals in it. His 10th would have been something. It would have been a 10.
Jennings kicks it in for Leopold. Out towards Pitt, front and centre. Liam Herbert, amazing. Goes towards Wagner with a hand. He goes with a kick over the top. Back Higgins, tapped it past Williamson, did well. Read the play, and short little kick though, turned it over. And Pitt takes the mark right on centre wing. Drills it back towards half forward. Howard should have taken the mark. Off the back though. Herbert, Williamson, it just goes long with the kick. Right foot kick, running in. And that was way too easy at the back of the pack. And Brock Williamson has finished it off for his second. And nobody between he and the goal in the end. And Leopold Well, that's that quick transition again, as we were talking about in the second term. Much easier for them. 8-8-56. They lead South Barwon 5-7-37. Harvey Norman, K-Rock, third quarter scoreboard, and in the expert share, thanks to Multi Skills, here's Matt Kershaw.
A lot of scores from turnovers today that we've seen, obviously with the ball rebounding back and forth, but that was just a blatant turnover out in the wing there by Higgins. Like, you can't just hand it back to the opposition, particularly on the wing. They're going to cut you up open in the corridor, and that's exactly what they did. And you can't let someone like Williamson run onto an open ball into the forward line. He's going to hurt you every time. So, yeah, just a poor skill execution, really.
Weston Davis back in the middle. Here's Marcus Thompson, who's been outstanding again, driving it long inside, forward 50. Giddings set himself but couldn't complete the mark. Ball hit the deck. Goff cleaned up for South Barwon, then a kick very, very wide. Here's Blake Scott, a chance to run for the first time this afternoon. If the ball sits for him, it just won't sit for him. Liam Herbert showed good wheels, nudged him off the footy a little bit too easily, then found the footy, and just running out of room was Burgess. Gee, I was hoping they would sit up for Blake Scott, who turned to the umpire as if to say, I got a shove. Well, I don't reckon you did. You might have got one in the side, but Herbert just outpointed you there, unfortunately.
He looked like the road runner there. He kept going for a bit. He couldn't slow down.
Got a boundary throw in. West and Davis. Davis winning the tap down, ball rolling towards the boundary line. Here's Liam Herbert again under pressure, gave a handball to Wagner. Wagner looped it over the top to Marcus Thompson. Marcus Thompson, a high kick, little float towards half forward, back with the flight well judged by Driver, taking a mark just inside defensive 50.
So plays on by hand to Siddle. Thought about giving it back. He gives it further. And now K-Rock's own. Goff gets it away to Siddle again, across half back. Oh, they've got their numbers there with South Barwon, but the ball doesn't really sit. Higgins handball over the top, set Cash in a bit of a task. He goes down the line. It's pretty good in the end. Lee has the sit over the back. Can't take the mark. 2-on-1 Leopold. They were happy to see it over the boundary line in the end. And Gordon getting across there to help out. So we'll have a boundary throw in between wing and half forward.
I'd love to know the GPS numbers for Harris Jennings.
Just goes everywhere, doesn't he? So throw in Davis and West. Over both their heads. Then Davis with a tumbling punt towards Keldo. Matthews against him. Played for a free kick for a hole. Didn't get one. Did Keldo. Now the outside of the boot. Carmody gets it across there and it goes to Broughton. In fact, yeah, it is Broughton. So he's in the right forward pocket. And he's about 40 metres out from goal. He's right on the boundary line. So a tough kick from there, but pretty skillful player, Johnny Broughton. He's kicked one this afternoon. And a chance just to keep Leopold, just to keep South Barwon in touch with Leopold. 19 to 19, the difference. He comes in, right foot kick, and I think he's missed everything. He has. He sprayed it wide. It's out of bounds on the full. So Leopold will take the resultant free kick.
East Geelong has pulled away from Inverleigh 64-30, and that is a game that will decide the minor premiership. So East Geelong with Ben Bosley pulling the pin at season's end. He's going to make sure he goes out on a high. Burgess with the resultant free kick next to the behind post in the left back pocket. He'll drive a kick towards left half back. West is his target and West is marked. Good strong grabber. Hamlin hanger contender. Pack of three. Two Swans trying to drag him down, but he stood tall, the veteran, and he took a nice mark. Hamlin kicks inside the centre square. Maybaum had to sit and wait for it, but was able to mark over the top of James. He'll bring the kick to Jennings. He takes it at right half back, stretches, marks, can feed a handball to Matthews if he so desires. Instead gets a block from him, drives a kick to the leading pattern, too much on it, judging it best, and taking the mark is Driver. Just inside defensive 50, Jack Driver just cutting down that Leopold forward foray, pulls the kick for Caldo. Jennings, though, over the top, couldn't complete the mark. Ground level, numbers there for Leopold, including Jennings, who was able to knock it to the path of Burgess. Burgess' handball somehow ends up with Feely. Feely steps around the man coming towards him, fires on goal, just couldn't get enough pull on the kick. That would have been one of the goals of the year, the way he stepped around the oncoming defender. It might have been White who he stepped, but couldn't finish, unfortunately, old touchy Feely. And it is through for a minor score. The margin is 20 for the good of the Lions. They are 8-9-57. South Barwon 5-7-37. Third quarter of Carrick football, thanks to Harvey.
He's got a torpedo.
Andy Higgins gone for a torpedo, and he's lucky Goff was in front because that was a terrible kick off the boot. But it got there, the desired result. K-Rock Zone gets it out to Cashin on centre wing, right in front of the scoreboard here at Leopold Community Bank Oval. Goes towards half forward. Keldo did well, took it and played on quickly. They're playing on at all costs at the moment. He goes into the pocket, and Broughton again is going to have a second show at it. 40 out from goal in the right forward pocket, just about the same spot he kicked it 2 minutes ago.
Let's see if he learns his lesson from his last kick, Jace.
Let's go, which was out of bounds on the full.
Yep.
So just that looks like that's what the plan is, Kirsch, is just to move it as they just wheel and go.
Yeah, look,
just get it going.
Exactly right. They're just using what they see in front of them, but they're facing up, they're getting the ball moving, and we've seen that all day, and nothing's changed in this second half.
So Broughton, right forward pocket, comes in this time. He puts it to the top of the square, punched away, and a big backhander there came from Harris Jennings and pushed it through for a rush behind to the visitors. So they go to 5-8-38. They trail Leopold 8-8-56. Harvey Norman, K-Rock, third quarter scoreboard.
Burgess takes off with a bounce and then fires a handball wide. Lane takes it on the bounce and then he fires a handball over the top, and they'll build through Justin on his left boot. A kick to the wing under pressure. It was good pressure that came from Noble, just impacted the kick slightly. Patton overran the footy. South Barwon a chance to clean up on the outer wing, but the tackle there, and it's a free kick for holding the ball against Driver, and Leopold will take the advantage. Justin kept running, had a bounce, just checked his kick inside forward 50 onto the chest of Maybaum. Now, this is well within the distance of Rob Maybaum, but he is looking and darting the eyes. Presenting up is Feely, ignores that, and Maybaum will now have a shot at goal. Runs to just outside 50, gets a good piece of it. Will it have the carry? Big fly across the front of the pack. Giddings off the hands of the pack. Howard is taken out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw in. No, it's out in the full. He might have got a boot on it.
Did he try and kick it?
He did try and kick the goal from there.
From the pocket?
Yep.
And in trying to keep it alive, he has put it out of bounds on the full. Ball's over the fence, and we'll wait for it to come back. And Hogan will be the recipient of the free kick in the left back pocket at the tennis court or Queenscliff Road end of Leopold Memorial Park.
So Hogan. So drill it to the opposite side back pocket. So Kay Patton against Goff, but Goff took it. Handball over the top from Duray. Back towards Duray. Tried to run through the tackle of Justin Cashin. Handball. Didn't hit the target. Maybaum comes the other way. I think they run out of... Well, in fact, yes, it is. It's a boundary throw. They run out of room at left half forward Leopold. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
St Joey 60, West 21, North Shore 78, St Albans 26, Lara 43, Colac 73, Bell Park 70, Grovedale 49 for Leopold Sporties.
So throw in West and Davis, left half forward for Leopold. Davis took it out of the ruck, goes towards centre wing. Keldo can't take it. Matthews, 3-on-1 Leopold. Trying to get the ball out. Broughton comes up to put the pressure on as well, but Dixon's at the back for the home side. Goes towards Wagner. Good strong mark. Handballs it away quickly, and they get the handball forward again. They go down towards Jennings. He's got that GPS on. Maybaum off a step. Goes towards goal and has kicked it. Good play, Leopold. Good finish. Rob Maybaum has had a couple of opportunities this afternoon. He finally puts his first goal on the board. Logan Wagner with a great mark in the middle, and they move the ball forward from that process, and they kick their ninth. They're 9-8-62, and they lead South Barwon 5-8-38. Harvey Norman, K-Rock.
Cleaner by hand, aren't they? That's a difference. Exactly right. And, you know, when you clean by hand and then clean by foot, it's really hard to defend. Whereas South Barwon, on the other hand, when they move the ball, they're just handballing in front of or behind their teammate, and it's easy to defend. You can't get that flow. Whereas Leopold has just got a lot more cleanliness by hand and foot.
West in the middle as Davis jumped early, won the tap, rolled it forward about 15 metres. Madigan will be first onto it, but he left the footy behind. Peters there to clean up for him, but his handball intended for a target and driver that was stolen by Wagner. He gave a handball off. Chance now for Marcus Thompson. Marcus Thompson just checks the kick nicely into the pocket. Beautiful play from Thompson. He could have had a flying shot at goal, but he saw Jake Pitt out the corner of his eye. Checked a little 25-metre kick onto the chest of the forward, and he's taken it. Will have a shot at goal, and this for a 30-point Leopold lead.
How huge has Logan Wagner been? He has been monumental this quarter.
I'm sure it's a performance that'll get back to Michael Barlow at Werribee with a couple of VFL rounds remaining. Jake Pitt, man on the mark, about 30 from goal. Pitt on his way. He might have pushed that across the face. In fact, he has. Just didn't kick that with any real conviction. And the margin is now 25, and that is a game-high lead for the Lions. They are 9-9-63. South Barwon a 5-8-38, third quarter of K-Rock football, thanks to Harvey Norman, and we've gone 13 and a half minutes.
White kicks it in for South Barwon. Looks for pack of players there. Madigan was there. The ball spills to West. He ducked his head. The umpire said he's held up, not going anywhere. So we'll have a ball up, left half forward for Leopold. Big pack around this contest. West gets in front. Davis gets it to the side. Ball back to Davis. Then Thompson through the middle. Can't take it with him. Kick off the ground by Davis. Didn't go that far in the end. And was that a push in the back? It is Wagner. Over the top, he will get the free kick and plays on quickly by hand to Liam Herbert. Gives it to Thompson. We've said that a few times today. Goes long in the middle. Pitt can't take the mark off the front of the pack. Siddle with just a torpedo tumbling punt. It was a crappy kick. There's no doubt about it. Burgess gets the handball out.
To Wagner, who receives it on the bounce, turns and kicks quickly into the left forward pocket. No mark taken there by Giddings. Front of the pack, South Barwon with numbers. Higgins involved. Handball off to White. White kick to half back. Here's Marcus Thompson again. Thompson turns and kicks on the right boot. Sees Maybaum all alone. And that'll be 50, I reckon, against Johnny Broughton. He didn't need to do that. He's made the decision very easy for the umpire. In fact, it was O'Neill, I apologise, wasn't Johnny Broughton. And that was undisciplined from Kelly O'Neill. And Rob Maybaum will be marched all the way to the goal line, and with nobody standing on it, he can just dribble it through for his second. So this game might be done as a contest now.
Wheels are falling off, Kingy.
31 points is the margin. 10-9, 69, 5-8, 38. Margin is 31 in this third quarter of K-Rock football, thanks to Harvey Norman. And we've gone on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock 15 1/4 minutes. And in the experts chair, Multi-Skills. Unleash your potential with construction industry training. At Multi-Skills is Matty Kershaw.
The wheels were wobbly. They got rickety. Now they're off. South Barwon are a little bit all the sea at the moment, aren't they? And their Leopold better players are just starting to really bite them around the packs, and they just can't get their hand on it at the minute. And Leopold's strength is they're winning at the source, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
Davis goes up early, but getting it down was Giddings. He's giving West a chop out. Madigan back to Davis off a step, but Lane gets across half back, or he rode the bump. He played for half a free kick for a high tackle. Then he tried to get it out. The umpire's just leaving it. He's going to have to pay it now because it's been a fortnight since he actually had the contest.
They changed over.
Did they? Because the other guy was umpiring, wasn't he?
Yeah, correct.
I don't know.
That was
anyway,
weird. Yeah.
But he's got the free kick. He goes high up the chimney, inside 50, punched away by Maybaum, the last goal scorer. Williamson tracks it with O'Dwyer close to the boundary line. O'Dwyer ripped off the football. Umpire will come in and is letting it go, and he's going to pay holding the ball. Bang.
Gee, that's tough.
That
You almost don't want to win
the contest,
ball, do you? Yeah.
So the free kick to Leopold, and it's going to be Williamson with it.
The advantage has been second in, the tackler.
Yeah, that's right.
Williamson will go all the way back to his defensive goal square and right to the goal line where Gordon is marked. He wants the corridor. That's a piercing kick onto the chest of Feely. But Feely's still 30 from his defensive goal. He'll bring it broadcast side now. Past our best seats in the house, looking for Jennings. Wonderful scything kick. They open up the middle of the ground. He goes wide to Maybaum. Maybaum marks on the chest. Handball back inboard. Williamson, this is a training drill. And the kick is outstanding into the waiting arms of Scott. Scott chips it to the goal square. Justin will dribble it through. That is the best coast-to-coast goal you'll see all year in the GFL from Leopold. They went around the red, white and blue witches' hats. From the defensive goal line to the attacking goal line, they were untouched, Matt Kershaw, for Multi-Skills. But the skill level was sublime. And that is a Lammy's Tavern goal of the day, started from Tommy Gordon at fullback.
Kingy, if you've summed it up really well. I don't think we've seen as good a ball movement from any side this year in a set of play. They switch the play, right? So what happens is all the South Barwon players come to one side, they open the corridor and they use it by foot to attack the corridor. They're brave with their ball movement, they get it to the other side and they just move the defence all the way along. South Barwon are in all sorts then.
Giddings gets it down and they get it forward through Williamson. Leopold again. Driver leaves the football behind as he tried to go. Now Herbert over the top. Wagner wrapped up straight away by James. His handball over the top. But back again, they lose the football, turn it over, go in the pocket, and Patton takes the mark for 30 metres out on the boundary line, and he ain't passing it.
Surely that's a Harvey Norman highlight that AFL Barn put together this week.
That play is as good as you'll see, I'm telling you, from any side this year. You called it really well, Kingy. That is the best almost we've seen this year from any of the top five sides.
So Mitch Patton, who's kicked one this afternoon, left forward pocket, southern end of the ground, just drills it in and drills it across. And that was a pass, I think he'll tell people tonight. No, it's out of bounds on the full. He might have got away with it to Luke Justin, but it was an out of bounds on the full, in fact. And it will be a free kick to White for South Barwon.
Across the face of his defensive goal to Higgins. Higgins wants the corridor. Can they do the same? As he goes short to Peters. Peters loops a handball over the top to Siddle, who loops a handball that's knocked away into the path. In the end, thankfully, it ended up back with White, so they'll get out of trouble here. Will South Barwon. White's running out of room because he's got no left boot. He gives a handball to Shepherd. Shepherd, the debutant, kick towards half forward, but Jennings in front of Bosley. And poor Bosley again today just hasn't had the supply, especially since quarter time, that he would like to see. He concedes Jennings to Gordon, the man who started that wonderful goal a little bit earlier. Gordon will send a wonderfully weighted kick. That's a beautiful ball out there wide onto the chest of Liam Herbert. Geez, they've got some nice ball users, haven't they? And then the handball over the top. O'Brien involved. Wagner back to O'Brien. There's a little bit of bruise free about this at the moment. Howard, O'Brien, who finally gets a bit of pressure but delivers a kick. Patton might have got an arm chop. Umpire said no. Ball out the back. Pitt head over the foot. He couldn't take it. Tom Scott was there. He fired a handball on the up. Patton overran the ball. Madigan there, knocked away by Hogan of South Barwon. This happening in the left forward pocket for Leopold. Peters, Davis. Kick went about 8 metres, was lost there. And a quick snap. That's not a bad effort. Is that Herbert kicking a wonderful goal in the left forward pocket? He picked up the loose footy there, Herbert.
See that far, yeah, is it Herbert?
It's like afternoon tea.
And kicked it indeed. The reaction was minimal from Leo. It was a nice goal. And Marcus Herbert with the goal.
Just come to expect it now.
Yeah. And the margin is now out to 43 points, and this could get very UGL
this could
wide.
blow out.
5-8-38 South Barwon. Leopold 12-9-81. Now, the problem for South Barwon is they've still got 9 quarters of footy to play after this one. They might want to lift because they've got 2 games against handy opposition. They've got Bell Park next week and then Colac to finish.
They copped a spray at half time from Dave Farrell. I'd hate to think what's going to look like at 3/4 time. Back in the middle. They get it down. Wagner through the middle from the ruck contest to Feely running on centre wing. Candy, handball on the outboard towards Herbert again. Can he get around? Oh, yes, he can. Can he get around 2? He does. Back to Burgess. He tippy-toes around as well. He's lost the ball, though. Siddle's there. Needs to get rid of it. He's wrapped up by Feely. Oh, and he just pushed it out of bounds, and the umpire says it was an insufficient attempt, and it will be a free kick. And Feely will kick it back in. Board lane. Just had to sit and wait for it and did. He wants to switch it right across the ground and does so. Gordon out, who's set up a lot in this third term, drills the ball at centre half forward to West. The big fellow rolls around. Big Westie with a right foot kick to the pocket. And good kick, and way too easy.
Like a ruck rover he was.
Way too easy. And the ball has ended in the arms of, I think, the last goal scorer, Marcus Herbert. And he will shoot for goal from 15 out, 45-degree angle. And the Leopold football director has said, let's not talk too much about Logan Wagner, please. Don't tell Werribee. That's what he said.
I've got Michael Barlow, the Werribee coach, on speed
That's
dial.
what he said, so don't talk to him. Now Herbert comes in. Oh, he's missed it to the near side.
They haven't advanced it beyond defensive 50. Noble will do that now with a kick to the wing, asking a lot of Caldo. Dixon across the front of the pack, spoiled. At ground level, Burgess for Leopold, handball to Dixon, lost it in the tackle of Carmody. Here's Marcus Thompson finding space where there was none, bursting away, driving a kick to half forward, through the hands of Giddings it went. Goff at the back for South Barwon, turned it over. Marcus Herbert dumped in a wonderful Noble tackle, and a free kick for South Barwon, and they'll clear through driver towards right half back to Cashin.
They get him too. He takes the mark.
Here we go.
Draws a player over the top. Here we go. It's race 3 at Dapto. Scott goes towards the half forward flank with a kick. He had Carmody out in front. Couldn't take it though. Dixon over the top of him. He needs some support. Tried to toe poke it. Oh, did well, Justin. He got under the tackle and handballed it to Maybaum as the siren sounds for three-quarter time. And it's Leopold 12-10, 82. Big third term from the Lions. South Barwon 5-9, 39.
Yeah, game that was...
Leopold at the moment and play with some tenacity.
Thanks to Multi Skills, Matty Kershaw on the Experts chair in the final turn for Apco Cafe 24/7. Here is Jace.
So Davis gets it down to Wagner, who got it back to Maybaum, goes towards half forward. Scott runs back with a fly to the footy, but driver for South Barwon was over the top of it and took the mark. Gave it to White. Thought about coming back in board, goes outside instead. They go towards centre wing with the kick. It's okay. And taking the mark is Noble. Just forward to centre wing. Drives it back in towards Bosley. Goes up, can't take it. Williamson off the front of the pack to Gordon. He's had a good game. Wagner helping out. Kick around the corner from Dixon towards half back. Well done, Justin. Got a hand to it as well. Maybaum was there helping out. Comes to Wagner. Back to Gordon. Chain of handballs back to Maybaum, all up the chimney, and goes towards centre wing with the kick. Oh, standing under it and couldn't do anything else. Andy Higgins had to stand there. Yeah. Scott comes at him late, but he took the mark in front of the scoreboard.
Thank you to Leopold for their catering today as well. The chicken salad roll was outstanding, and just a little cakes at three-quarter time. And in a very small world, Simon Dandy, former South Barwon captain, his sister Sarah, who's now now Sarah Jeffries and
Leopold legend.
He's now a Leopold netball legend, delivering them to us. And their dad Howard just poked his head in to say hi a little bit earlier, who's probably one of Geelong's finer thespians.
Well said.
Very prolific in the acting community, but also very much in the basketball community, Howard. Hope you're well, Howard. Always good to see him. As a boundary throw-in sees O'Brien dive on the footy. He's wrapped up. We'll get a ball up. But no, really appreciate the catering provided by the clubs, and I know that the chips and gravy through Damien McKeegan are coming our way tomorrow at Anthony Costa Oval. I know Damien's listening right now too. Tapped down by West, roving by Davis. Handball. A kick rather was smothered. Wagner took it, gave it to Maybaum. He gave it to West. Oh, nice little bit of footwork through Siddle. And then the kick is nice to Justin. Justin turns onto that familiar left boot, wanting Pitt, who stretches, marks, plays on from 49. Kick to the pocket. Marcus Thompson's gone forward, found the footy, tried to shrug off the would-be tackler. Did, snapped, rolling, and kicking one of the goals of the year. What a wonderful goal from Marcus Thompson, who might find himself in the Matheson medal votes again. Joel Hogan did all he could to stick that tackle, but the strength of the Leopold midfield gun was on show there. And then he snapped one that bounced through for a wonderful goal. The margin is 50. Marcus Thompson with his second, and the Lammy's Tavern goal of the day, although it's probably a daily double. Matty back at K-Rock HQ. He kicked one in the second that had good dibs on it, and that wasn't bad either.
Well, we said that they won't change too many things, but Marcus Thompson one out of the square is a dangerous little move there for Leopold if they can get in there.
He's going to try some stuff. Yeah, that's one of them, I say. Back to the middle. West gets it down. And fighting for it in the middle, Madigan, Maybaum tries to get it out. He did. He dropped it. Now kick around the corner from O'Brien towards Feely, who's had a very nice afternoon, Tom Feely. And he goes with the kick, but Driver chops it off this time. Worked his way into the game in the second half. Tom Driver, he goes short. The kick to James.
Tom Driver, the cricketer?
Tom Driver, no, so I was looking going, it's not Tom, it's Jack.
Tom Driver's a cricketer, isn't he?
He is. Note. Yeah, brother of. So, now Higgins. It's nearly there. We saw Ferg today. Andrew Ferguson, North Geelong legend. Still in cricket season. Siddle at half back. Kicks it across the goal, across the face of the ground. Great work, Justin. 45 out, closing left foot, kick open, goal square! Well played. Lammy's Tavern goal of the day. What do we get into it? Well, Luke Justin kicks the goal. His third of the afternoon.
And you know what they don't have a lot of? They don't have a lot of left footers. He is a gun, I reckon, as a left footer for Leopold.
Him and Lane, like they've just got penetrating left foot.
They just look better as the season's gone on, haven't they?
Well, Jai Thompson's a left footer too.
Not playing today, though. But yes, that's correct. But they haven't got a lot of them. Like, if you look at that, there's got one today. Like, everybody else the right footer, and he just penetrates with that left foot. He's third.
Yeah.
14-11-95. All over. South Barwon 5-9-39. Let's go to GMHBR.
Jeez, you've gone out the limb there.
Let's just get going. Next.
Davis and West winning the tap. Wagner hit it at pace, was slung by Madigan. He gave it to, here's Justin with a big torpedo to the top of the goal square. Rolling, Geray. We'll see it to the line. He's taken in a Thompson tackle, got a handball away. Pitt cut it off. He got a handball to Patton, who ran out of room. Boundary throwing left forward pocket.
Now,
welcome to the Luke Justin show.
We're starting to barrack here, so stop.
We're starting to barrack for a torpedo or a good goal.
That's what I mean. We're barracking for a bit.
Margin is 56. Leopold leads South Barwon final term of K-Rock football. West winning the tap down. Ball hit the deck. And there's going to be a free kick too high, I reckon. Front on contact. And Williamson, the former Port Arlington star, wouldn't they love to have him in navy blue and red? I don't think that'll happen for a few years yet. Hopefully he goes back there one day. But right now, he's very important in this Leopold lineup. Played every game bar one this year. Kicked only the 6 goals coming in. He's kicked 2 already today. This for a third. Same with Justin, only had the 6 goals for the season coming in. Has kicked 3. And Williamson has done exactly the same. Yes. Just snuck it in at the right-hand goal post. And the margin is 62 points. So they have absolutely brought the hurt of Leopold after half-time. They have now kicked 8 consecutive goals to turn what was a 14-point lead into a very, very impressive 62-point margin, I should say. Leopold 15-11-101. South Barwon on 5-9-39.
Well, they just, like we said in the third quarter, they just can't get their hands on the ball, South Barwon. They still can't, probably even less so now. They're just winning every facet of their game, Leopold.
So back to the middle. Oh, Davis up very early. West got it down in the end. Roved by Shepherd, got it away to Madigan. Left foot kick around the corner. Nelly going back with it was O'Brien. In fact, it was Lane. Tried to put the tackle on. Over the back, Matthews for Leopold at half-back. Gave it away to Burgess. Runs through half-back, 2 bounces. And keeps going now. Right foot kick back inside towards Patton, a long way from goal. He can't take it. He puts the tackle on, though. So defensively, he and Howard put it on Shepherd. The umpire will come in and ball it up. Just on my personal Twitter, is it a daily comp to name as many blokes as you can see on a Saturday afternoon at the footy? We've dropped Andrew Ferguson in there. Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
It's local footy at its finest, and I like to pay due recognition to people who have contributed to our game locally. Umpire tossing it into the air. West and Davis. Going to be a free kick for Shepherd in the ruck contest, going against West, who looks perplexed. Davis says, I'll just take the free kick and punt it long, looking for Caldo. Went over his head, and Jonty Broughton.
Well, you can shorten it if you like.
I did to Bronte.
Let's just call him Bronte now. That'd be good. I like that.
And Jonty Broughton has taken the mark.
Oh, this game's out of control.
Yeah.
And I've still got a broadcast tonight.
Good luck with that.
Yes, man on the mark, stands about 40 from goal. Broughton directly in front, on its way, hung it out to the right, and that is where it has stayed. And Trent Thompson will quickly get on with it and bring it broadcast side, where it'll be marked by Liam Herbert.
Oh, no, it won't be, because he dropped it. But he's going to go back and pick it up. He needs some help, though, and they're going to have to come quickly. South Barwon go the other way. Cashin kicks it up the chimney and wide.
Didn't cost him.
It didn't. Well, it cost him a behind, so they go to 5-11-41 South Barwon, 15-11-101 Leopold. And let's see, Dixon's going to kick it in this time and come broadcast side again. Oh, Mark Burgess, he's had a good game across half-back today. Ooh, Burgess as usual.
Oh, Leopold Sporties.
Oh, hello. He goes back in board with the kick, and they get it to O'Brien.
O'Brien's teammate standout also up for grabs. Out wide he goes. Justin on that wing couldn't complete the mark. So Justin wasn't playing until Ollie Tate got the call up to Geelong VFL. So he's going to make some decisions. That's a wonderful kick over the head of Caldo to Wagner. Wagner off by hand. Marcus Thompson trotting into the right forward pocket with the kick. Good spoil Goff in front of Giddings to knock it out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw in. right forward pocket as Giddings maybe just a little bit late, but maybe a bit of cramp in the left hamstring for St John of God. Just keep an eye on that. Yeah, just grabbing at the left hamstring.
Oh, yeah. Very tight.
Yeah, hope that's only a cramp and nothing too sinister. Ball back into play, right forward pocket, West into the corridor, Maybaum the roving, Maybaum the quick, snap around the corner. Wonderful finish from Robbie Maybaum. He kicks his third of the afternoon, so they're getting multiple goals from multiple sources of the Lions, and the margin is 66. 16-11, 107, playing as we look at, Connor Giddings. He's grabbing at a left hamstring. There hasn't been any real medical attention come to him. South Barwon 5-11-41, hoping that is only cramp. The only upside would be if it's a minor hamstring is that Leopold will not play their first final for 22 days. Correct, so if you work on 3 weeks for a traditional hamstring, he should be all right. But that's not what Gary Hocking wants late in a game that they are dominating. On the final quarter, APCO Cafe 24/7 scoreboard. The new Mexican Jaffle only at APCO Cafe 24/7. 107 plays 41.
West gets it down to Marcus Herbert, dropped in the tackle, handball comes back, Davis off a step, his kick was smothered. Thompson, handball, beautiful. Service Liam Herbert, over the top to Howard, gets on the left foot, inside 50, Bosley in defence now, and he chips the ball to Davis at centre half back. Handballs it away to James, runs through centre half back, high kick towards half forward, Caldo, goes up in front, can't take the mark, front and centre was okay by Noble, kick around the corner, Ollie Lee got it away by hand, oh no, he should have gone back and had a set shot, they've turned the ball over, and now the ball comes back, and taking the mark is Liam Herbert at half back.
Yeah, Matthews got in the way, short to Herbert, Herbert went back to Lane, Lane on his left boot, one of those left footers, goes wide to O'Brien, who's marked at right half back, wants to come back in board with a handball at the bootlaces. Thompson picked it up nicely on the juggle, handball on the bounce to Wagner, taking in the tackle at Cash and handball back on the bounce to Trent Thompson. Thompson had his handball blocked and he was able to get it back and handball to Justin. Don't argue on Caldo from Justin, sends a kick wanting Maybaum, but Goff got in front. Took a good mark for South Barwon. Gee, Luke Justin's game is going to make Gary Hocking think about things if Ollie Tate becomes available. Kick on the bounce, Madigan, and he spun away nicely from the less agile West. Kick towards half forward, and a good mark. Thompson standing tall in front of the advancing Caldo, and he takes a good mark at right half back, Trent Thompson, who's very reliable down back for the Lions.
Chips the ball to Williamson, just at half back. 20-metre kick, now he goes outside, centre wing, and he gets it to Dixon, who runs through wing to half forward, right foot kick high, Pitt Patton, no mark taken, they need a front and centre, Scott was there as well, tried to get it back towards Howard close to the boundary line, but it rolls out, and we will have a boundary throw-in. Right forward pocket for Leopold, they lead 107-41. Middle stage is the final term here. Port Phillip Ferries time clock, 12 minutes. Port Phillip Ferries, there's no better way to travel. Boundary throw in. Leopold with the numbers at the side. Marcus Thompson, kick around the corner. Oh, Maybaum comes out. Juggles a nice little Hamlin hanger contender there. It was in the left hand, it was in the right hand. And he took it 30 out. He's going to kick for goal. And he has kicked 3 this afternoon already.
He's the ultimate utility.
He's
Like, put him anywhere.
Mr. Versatile.
Put him anywhere.
Ruck rover, forward, full forward, half back probably, even if you wanted to put him there.
No issues down back, absolutely.
So Maybaum, northern end of the ground, 30 out directly in front, and goal umpire has had to work a bit to his left, but he has come back and said that that is all clear. So he's 4th, and that is 4 goals, 1 for Rob Maybaum this afternoon. 17-11, 113 Leopold, and they have sprinted the field. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiple goal kickers now out of that 17-11, 113. South Barwon 5-11, 41. And that is on the APCO Cafe 24/7 K-Rock final quarter scoreboard.
With their leading goal kicker held to 1.
Correct.
So that's very pleasing for the Leopold coaching staff that they can get that spread without having to rely on Patton, which we've seen a little bit earlier in the season where, they were the ones that they were going to 75% of the time.
Siddle's going to get a free kick there for, I think, a kicking in danger. And then a handball up to Madigan, who had it partially smothered. James, we haven't caught a lot of in the second half, gave it back to Madigan. Madigan sends a kick looking for Caldo. Good spoil from behind, came from Jennings, but front of the pack there's numbers, including Scott. Wagner's gone back to play a defensive role. Did well to spoil. The other clearing kick comes from Lane, but the South Barwon boys will send it back through Madigan, and Madigan's short little kick is okay. And the mark is taken by Cashin, about 40 from goal. Harry Cashin playing just his 8th GFL senior game. Can't miss him with a very unmistakable hairstyle. A lot of business in the front, party at the back for Harry Cashin.
There's a bit going on there.
2 goals in his fledgling career so far. This to break a run of 10 straight by Leopold. Cashin on his way, close to the man on the mark. He's pulled that to the left and going for distance, and a minor score. So since half-time, they have only added the 7 behinds. They're 5-12-42. They trail by 71 points. Leopold 17-11-113.
Straight down the middle for Leopold. They go long, looking for Pitt. Has to go from behind in the end against Driver. Now the ball comes out. Back to Pitt through the middle of the ground. They get it to O'Brien by hand. He gets it out further. Cashin comes to meet the contest with Liam Herbert. Coming in, O'Brien puts the tackle on over the top of Hogan. The umpire will come in and ball it up on centre wing on the outer side. So, pack coming across. It must have been cramped for Connor Giddings because he's back on the ground. So that's a good outcome for Leopold. Davis from the ruck contest gets it out. Williams and Burgess goes up. At the back, Gordon at half-back for Leopold. Gets the handball around, the corner to Herbert. Marcus goes to Maybaum, can't take it. Davis tried to flick it back to Goff. Now Leopold go inside 50. Patton a one-on-one. Which way is it going to sit? South Barwon got the numbers back there. Oh no, falls to Mitchie. Watch out, he goes, and he gets wrapped up straight away. Danger again for the South Barwon defence. But we're going to have a ball up about 30 metres out from the Leopold goal.
Gee, Bell Parker put some hurt on Grovedale, 126.78. That's 48 points at High Sushi Oval. Rack contest. Tap one there. Oh, Siddle's taken high. As Jennings won the ruck contest, Siddle did the roving and taken high there by O'Brien. Siddle, handball back into his defensive goal square to Higgins. Higgins short kick onto the chest of Noble, who's got it in the right back pocket. Tried hard this afternoon in a losing cause, Lockie Noble. Noble under pressure from Patton, sends it past our best seats in their house, wanting Duray to land under the foot, he couldn't complete the mark. Matthews, that was a miss hit on the handball, and it's a throw, in fact, the umpire said. And Duray wins a free kick right in front of us. Thanks to Apco Cafe 24/7, the new Mexican Jaffle, only at Apco Cafe 24/7. In front is Duray with the free kick. Right half back, goes on the 45-degree with a risky kick that's cut off nicely. Just floating across Feely. Took the mark and now drives Leopold long. Patton in a one-on-one with Bosley. Patton couldn't complete the mark. Found it on ground level. Left foot dribbling, rolling ball that just rolls to the right and through for a minor score. Think Higgins had it covered anyway. So 1 goal 2 for Mitch Patton by my count this afternoon. And now 17-12-114. Leopold, South Barwon 5-12-42. The margin 72 points with 7 minutes almost gone.
Higgins tried another barrel, which somehow comes off to O'Dwyer. Gives it away by hand. And it's going to be a ball up. Cashin running through at centre half back.
I reckon he keeps going till he gets one to spin right.
Well, he's had a fair effort at it today and has got nowhere near them. The ball from the ruck contest goes out. That was a late tackle on James. And getting across there for Leopold, taking the mark, was Matthews on centre wing.
How does Dave Farrell pick this team up now for the next fortnight?
Well, that's the big thing, isn't it? Talk about that motivation to get out there and win a game of footy. When you needed to fight, they didn't have much fight, did they? So, yeah, it's a good question.
So the ball from centre wing goes inside 50. Pitt can't take the mark. Comes to the back. They get around through Williamson. His handball backwards, outside 50, back to Wagner. He thought about the handball to Thompson. He just gets through some traffic. 45 out, right foot kick to the top of the square. Patton at the back, can't take it off hands. And through for 1 behind to the home side. So they go to 17-13-115. Leopold, they lead South Barwon 5-12-42. And that's on the Apco Cafe 24/7 K-Rock final quarter scoreboard.
So a chance here for Siddle to bring the ball back into play. Wants the corridor, and it's a well-weighted kick to the almost top of the 50-metre arc to Madigan, who's had a really good season. Doyle Madigan, his kick, though, that was intended for James, has been knocked away by Williamson into the path of Wagner. Mayborn the step. Mayborn for 5. A career high with Leopold for Rob Mayborn. A handful on a glorious afternoon for him as the sun shines brightly from the west on Leopold Community Bank Oval, and it's shining brightly on the Lions, who have handed South Barwon some sort of lesson this afternoon. The margin is now 79, 11 consecutive goals since half-time, 18-13, 121. South Barwon, 5-12, 42, 19 minutes gone, final quarter, thanks to Abco Cafe 24/7.
Well, it was a turnover again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Foot, like pretty simple. You maintain possession. You can't let the opposition get it, Jace. The minute you give them a look at it, a team like Leopold's going to hurt you every single time.
In the middle, Davis from the ruck contest, but it's Lane with it at centre half back, who kicks wide out to the outer side. Williamson, they're running. It's good when you're 80 points up. You can run
on top of the ground.
Absolutely. He goes back inside to Pup to Thompson.
Well, you only have to run one way as well,
Correct,
Jace. That's
because
the
they're
thing.
not doing a lot in the back half.
Exactly.
They go out wide. And Williamson holds it up. O'Dwyer stands the mark. So South Barwon filtered back inside defensive 50. They come out. There's the big thump away by Higgins. Back to Thompson. He's a short little kick over the top. Didn't hit the target. Now on hands and knees, O'Dwyer got it back out. But again, Leopold with the numbers. Ball comes back out towards Marcus Thompson again. Back to Wagner, who got wrapped up straight away. The umpire is just letting it go. Well, he's going to pay on in the ball if he doesn't pay anything else, so he will. And Wagner's looking at the umpire going, really? Did I have an opportunity? Maybe I did. I don't know. Higgins has got it on the back end of centre wing. He goes back in board. Broughton takes it. He goes with a right foot kick towards half forward. James, good mark over the top of Thompson. And he's got a left half forward, 55 from goal for the Swans.
James sends it inside forward, 50, and it's a well-weighted kick to his skipper, and Caldo's marked in front of Jennings. And rare free ball for South Barwon in this second half of footy. And Matty Caldo who plays to a very high standard, or sets himself very high standards, will be very disappointed with what's been produced this afternoon by his footy club. This is a real turn your toes up effort from the Swans. So competitive early, but fallen away badly. This to stop a run of 11 consecutive Leopold goals, and he has put it through. So consolation there for South Barwon. Barely a ripple of applause as the crowd has started to clear out, and I suspect those in red, white and blue might have been headed out already. And Matty Caldo with his first of the afternoon. He's kicked 27 for the season as the skipper. He's had a solid year, second only to Andrew Bosley in the goal kicking at McDonald Reserve. They're 6-12-48. That's their first goal since the 27-minute mark of the second quarter. Leopold are 18-13, 121.
Still with us?
I'm still here. Well, King, you summed it up really well.
West gets it down. Well done. Back to Wagner, back to Herbert. Marcus goes to the outside. Nice to centre wing with the kick. And they go towards half forward with the ball. Justin, who's having an absolute picnic in the second half, goes inside 50. Oh, good mark. Giddings. Hamlet Hanger. Got to breathe some life into it somehow.
Are you yelling at them now?
Can I make a suggestion for the Leopold Sporting Award?
Yeah, we're not giving it to Marcus Thompson.
Luke Justin, but he has to take Ollie Tate for not playing.
Yeah, I like it. That's good. All right, we'll go with it. When I say to him, who would you take? Oh, bad luck.
Yeah,
take
Ollie Tate.
Ollie Tate. That's right. So Connor Giddings, who we thought might have a slight hammy, but he came back on as only cramp, so
this will test it.
He's kicked one and has still kicked one, I think. He's missed it. He looks okay after that kick, but he has kicked one goal. 18-14, 122 Leopold. South Barwon 6-12-48. Abco Cafe 24/7 K-Rock. Final quarter scoreboard.
And it's White to bring the ball back into play for South Barwon. He's been a handy addition this year from Koroit. He goes short to Higgins, who's been a more than handy recruit from St Albans. wonder if a new Ocean Grove coach would be asking the question about Andy Higgins coming home. Kick towards right half back, looking out there for Goff, who couldn't mark. Jennings tried to extract it from the contest. He couldn't. Jeray could, though. Handball off to Noble. Noble sending a kick towards half forward. Coming out, meeting it full-chested was Gordon. Did okay. Handball back to Dixon, who gave it back to Gordon. Gordon to centre half back with a well-weighted kick. O'Brien dropped what he should have taken. Now he has a fit of the fumbles and got Lee for company. Little soccer off the ground by Lane. It's going to spill. Trent Thompson tried to take on the tackle of Shepherd. That should be holding the ball. Umpire said play on. Noble, a handball. Stolen. Chance here for Leopold. Jennings running in circles. Concedes back to Trent Thompson. Got it at left half back. Steadies with the kick. Oh, pinpoint. Finds Marcus Herbert.
Goes to the outside centre wing position. They're out here. Lane gets it. Got Maybaum in. Oh, watch out, Robbie. Turn around. 50 out. Going to go for goal. He keeps it low towards Ginnings, who can't take the mark off the back of the pack. Wrapped up. O'Neill not going anywhere for South Barwon. And even in the junk time that it is, Leopold's forward attackers just keeping the pressure on at all opportunities. They just want more goals, and they're going to have an opportunity here. About 10 out. Tapped away. Bosley's going to take the clearing kick, but it's going to be marked by Liam Herbert on 50. Plays on quickly, back in towards the big fella! Drake West, who's lining up for a goal. And he'll have a set shot from 40 outside angle.
I know it's a game of 22 for multi-skills, Kirsch, but one bloke can completely change a lineup, can't he?
Oh, absolutely it can, because it changes everything. It changes your spine, it changes your structure, it changes the way you play.
Rob Maybaum probably doesn't kick 5 playing in the ruck.
Well, exactly right. Him and Pitt have to rotate. So, you know, they got bumps in the twos, but, you know, so it just changes the whole...
Ball didn't go the required distance from West and comes out from Doyle. He gets the ball wide to Siddle. Handball. In fact, coming back now, Herbert runs free. Handball over the top into the pocket. Scott about 30 metres out. Titus Devane. Goal! Lammy's having goal of the day. Contender from top. Scotty, if you don't mind. And he has kicked his first. And I've just blown a gasket. We've got to do something this afternoon. Great play by Leopold. They're forward 50. They just keep the pressure on. And Tom Scott finished it from what would be classed as the Lockie Peck pocket if we were at St Mary's, right in that right-hand side there. 19-14, 128 Leopold, 6-12-48 South Barwon, Apco Cafe 24/7, K-Rock final quarter scoreboard.
You know, you look at Leopold, you know, when we've seen Leopold this year, we've probably had them penciled around that 5th to 7th mark all year. And hey?
Oi, now.
But I reckon now with that West injection and the way they're set up and they're playing, they've certainly gone into contention, haven't they?
Feely gets out of the tackle of Cash and gave a handball to Lane, who swept it wide to Matthews. Jennings, Pitt, handball on the bounce. Lane had to wait for it. Madigan provided the pressure. Ball spilled to Scott. Scott's wrapped up in a tackle going nowhere. True centre wing. Yeah, I think if they had snuck into the 5 this year, that was a good result.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
But now they're
up to their ears in it.
Yeah, they're a genuine contender.
They have beaten St Mary's. They've pushed Newtown a couple of times. Colac's the only team that's probably got hold of them this year. Chance now for Lane to clear after receiving a handball from Wagner. A high ball to half forward. Maybaum's been good. He won't take the mark though. Chance here for Higgins after receiving the handball. Slung over the boundary line. Maybaum make sure he goes nowhere. Nice little smile from Higgins and Maybaum, and we'll get a boundary throw in. Right in front of our best seats in the house. No better vantage point than right here at Leopold Community Bank Oval. 27 minutes ticked over. Leopold lead by 80. Nobody saw that coming, I don't think. Front of the pack roving done by Noble. Jams it on the boot towards half forward. Back with the flight, Jennings, who has picked everything off this afternoon. He can go short to Feely if he so desire, but do you know what? They are just happy to roll the dice and he'll kick into space for Wagner.
Wagner gets the handball over the top and they run free on centre wing. At the back they go. The kick from Gordon towards half forward. No mark taken. Off the back. Will tackle again. Was that high this time from Howard? I think it might have been. And the free kick's going to come back to Jack Driver. So inside defensive 50 for South Barwon. He's just going to settle the play down. Nowhere really to go. So he's going to come broadcast side to Noble, who takes the mark inside defensive 50 and then plays on. Goes the right foot kick to centre wing. Good. measures the pass, and off he goes.
Here he goes.
Oh, race 5 at Capco. Blake Scott takes one bounce, take 2 bounces. He gets away, keeps going. Goes to the right foot kick. Terrible kick off the boot. He had the speed wobbles, and he turned it over to Jet Matthews.
Matthews, 25 from his defensive goal, will let Chase come back to something resembling normal. Herbert, and that is final siren here at Leopold Memorial Park. A comprehensive win for Leopold. 80 points. They've done it comfortably after half-time, kicking 12 goals to 1.